Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
And James Farley.
Hello.
We will start the show, as I always love starting the show, by announcing our Patreon producers this month. They are the Full Nels crew. They are Aaron Patrick, Simon Nelson, Tom S., Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Richard Sawyer, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, and Gabby Pereira, the Full Nels crew. We love them. If you would like to go Full Nels, or if you would like to support us in any way, then please visit patreon.com/TCGS. There's all sorts of stuff there, isn't there, guys? There's all sorts of tiers. There's various different tiers. You've got the bonus show, which is a lot of fun every month. It is actually pretty good. And remember, if...
don't be too complimentary about it. Yes, it's actually all right. It's
surprisingly decent.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to that tier, you get all of the Patreon shows. Do you know what I mean? So you can go back and listen to all the old ones, and we've done all sorts on those.
My mate Joe became a Patreon subscriber recently, and he messaged me the other day saying he was like crying after listening to one of the older ones. You know, with
was it the one where you announced that you were excited about COVID?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Actually, it might have been
one from a year ago where we were like, oh, I wonder if Res will still be on.
Yeah, when he was listening to us writing things, shall we say.
But also, right, okay, yeah. There's a little secret character that you'll discover if you sign up to that tier and listen back to the old bonus shows. There's a reason why we didn't make them available everywhere. Trust me, it's worth it. But also, there's the tier up from that. You get to watch our live video shows every month, and that's what is it this month? It's
doing a quiz,
quiz inning,
bringing in the quiz inning back, and I'm working on a new set, and it's costing me a lot of money. So pledge now.
That's
really
this Saturday,
that.
Right? That's Saturday we're doing that, right?
This Saturday night at 9
right.
o'clock. Yeah, anyone who isn't already a Patreon subscriber, just go to patreon.com/TCGS, and then in a couple of days' time, or within the next couple of days, there'll be a post on there for £8.50 and above patrons with information about how to watch the show live this Saturday night.
It's worth watching live because, unfortunately, you don't want to get it spoiled by online trolls, on Twitter, just spoiling what happens, the results and the various different twists that happen along the way. You don't want that.
I mean, there might not be twists, to be clear.
There will be twists.
It depends on what, how James is behaving.
Well,
James
depends
is
on how
involved.
rigged the whole thing is, isn't it, really?
Okay, Mr.
James, if it's rigged in anyone's favour, it's yours. You're the one who does the news. And it's...
And he's still
okay.
That
right,
doesn't help me at all, Sean.
I just remembered that the first two episodes of In the Quiz Innings on our YouTube channel. So if that sounds interesting to you and you think, I might want to watch it live, but I don't know what it's going to be like, watch the first two episodes of In the Quiz Inning on our YouTube channel. And James cheats twice.
That is not true.
Well,
I didn't
just
cheat.
Anyone
once.
could watch the evidence being presented live. So
right, okay.
It's all a matter of public record.
Right. Is this are these statements correct? Were you looking at the chat during the quiz?
I was in one of them, yeah.
Okay, right. Second one, did you Google an answer?
No, I didn't.
That's a lie, though, James.
No, it's
you
not
Googled
a lie.
An answer. Yes, it
I
is.
copied and pasted the spelling for something because I couldn't remember how to spell it.
And where did you copy and paste it from? How did you find the copied and pasted?
That? Yeah.
I didn't type it in the form of a question, did I? I just typed it. I typed in roughly how I thought
James,
it was spelled, and then it came up with the right one.
What did you type it into? What did you type it into?
DuckDuckGo.
DuckGo. What?
It's a search engine.
DuckGo.
It's a private search engine, David. So
No, you didn't. You typed it into Google. So the answer is you Googled an answer to one of the questions.
No,
and
I didn't.
the extra
I
wrinkle
Googled
to
the
this
spelling to an answer that I already knew the answer to.
Yeah, but James, right? Yeah, but then after that, Matt then said, I know the answer, but I don't know how to spell it, and I don't know what to do. And you just sat there
on the video
saying nothing.
I said, I think
also,
I know the answer.
What if you got that? What if you got the answer wrong and you Googled it and you went, oh no, that's something else. That wasn't what I was thinking about.
I mean, we don't know, Dave. He might have got it wrong.
If I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But
it was an easy question.
You're a cheat, and we will be on high alert this weekend. Put it that way. We will be on high alert this weekend. Anyway, we were not here last week, Sean. It was a two-man show. Before we get onto the listener feedback, should we do our feedback? Who's going to start, me or you?
I'll be looking forward to this.
I mean, I haven't got loads to say. I think a lot of things I was going to mention are covered in the feedback from the listeners. I was I was saying to Dave the other day, it's always weird when you miss a show, isn't it? Because you're looking at the feedback, and if anyone says anything negative, you're like, oh, you fuck off. Like, but then if anyone says anything a bit too positive as well, you're like, oh okay, fuck off.
What did I reply? I remember. Look, it's like. Look, when you live by the rule, never listen to the listeners, you can't let that stuff get to you either. You just, that was a really good one this week. And I'll go, you're wrong. It's fine. It doesn't affect me at all, Sean.
But no, it was a good show overall, especially like two-man shows are hard because obviously just naturally there's less, cross chat and stuff. But no, it was good. The only thing was, Matt, that whole 16-bit musical sounds the same shit. What's that about?
I mean, I'd say that partly because I believe it, partly to rile James up. I mean, I was expecting a bit of. I thought I'd just say something really sort of, a sweeping statement. I know isn't true, but someone to kick off about it. No, James was like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, but the trick to winding me up, Matt. Like you need to, you do need
to be me.
Yeah, you need to learn this from David. It's like you want to do something which will wind me up, but won't make you look really stupid. Because that's what you did with that.
I don't think it did.
Okay. Is that anything else, Sean?
I mean, that was about it. To be honest, as I say, there's other stuff, but listeners have covered it. So
yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of things. Matt, when I was explaining about why the evidence for Sean's fart. It's probably 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
When I was doing that and you were going, oh, get on with it. Come on, get on with it, out with it. I listened to that and thought, you're right. That whole section was a little bit too long. I didn't realise how much I was talking to. I thought, Matt's got a fair point here. I was quite surprised to hear James chipping in, though, and giving it the big in during that bit. Because, James, if you remember correctly, I asked if I could write that instead of send an audio file in, and you said, no, I want it on an audio.
I know, because I was expecting just a short, like 20-second kind of thing, not like several minutes.
Well, it wasn't several minutes, and also, when I sent it to you, I replied, how's that? And you said, perfect. So, I mean, there's one thing I didn't have you down as, and that's a fucking snake. And now... Now that's what I've got you down as.
All I said was that it demonstrated that you do like the sound of your own voice, which I think is true. That's it.
Well, that's fine, but that demonstration come from me saying I don't want to do an audio thing, and you saying I really want you to. So I don't think that's me liking the sound of my own voice. I think
didn't know that, James.
And let's be honest,
liking the sound of my voice, James.
And let's be honest, was it James wanting you to do an audio thing, or was it James not wanting to have to read something out?
But definitely the second, definitely the latter. But I do think it's Sean. I do think it's a bit snide that he was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate." Plays it on the show, and he's like, "This is shit, isn't it?"
I didn't say that. I just said that you did go on a bit.
It goes on a bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Also, I sort of I heard you moaning about like Destruction All Stars. Have you guys played that anymore?
Oh
no,
deleted it.
Really?
It wasn't very good then. I just found it a bit insensitive that you would slag it off when you know that I haven't got a PS5.
Surely it's the opposite. Surely it's like, look, Dave, don't even worry about the PS5, mate.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So, guys, don't worry about having hair, because when you can't get it cut...
Totally different.
Don't worry about it. Why is it different?
Listen, you're just a lucky Argos order away from getting a PS5. My hair's never coming back. But that's never
get a hair transplant. What are you doing? If you really wanted it, go and get it done. Go and get a Rooney job.
Yeah, wait, no one's going to get a Rooney job.
We've getting a PS5 at the moment, so...
What we're saying is that I am not allowed to complain of the fact that barbers have been closed for months, right? My hair is in a ridiculous state, right?
How awful for you. How terrible that you've got all this hair.
Just get Joe to trim it.
Yeah.
But this is... No, have you seen Joe try and cut hair? Yeah. It's shocking. I'm not letting anyone hear this, right? I'd rather let it... But what I'm saying is that because of your insecurities and your egos, I'm not allowed to complain about saying, oh, my car's broken down. Well, some people don't have cars. Stop moaning. What the fuck?
It's a very, very good point,
Listen to
actually.
yourselves. It's ridiculous. Come on, boys. You're better than that, aren't you?
I mean, he's doing it again.
Good, I've made my
He's
point,
lashing
right.
out, James. He's lashing out because he hasn't got his PlayStation 5.
I'm a little bit annoyed by that. I am a little bit annoyed by that. Should we get on to what the listeners thought?
Yes, we'll start with Ham Sanders.
Has it just hit you how stupid it is complaining that, getting upset that I complain that my hair's in a bad shape at the moment?
No, absolutely not. I'll
Has
take
it just
very
hit you?
personally.
There's a lot of silence.
No, I'm just thinking about having hair.
About those pictures, yeah, of you just like, look at my luscious locks that I've got to get like cut and everything. It's ridiculous.
James, could you imagine you with that hair, though?
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it if I had hair still.
I'd love a PS5. Stop moaning about destruction, all stars, you fuck. Right, go on, let's go. Let's hear hear what the listeners have to say. They'll love it, did they?
Ham Sanders, Marquez Brownlee destroying Matt Murray in a pub car park is a whole new genre of fan fiction. Can a skip be involved, please? 2021 truly is the year of the weird boner. James,
Nice.
have you, in the last few days, have you not realised you know who Marcus Brownlee is yet?
Yeah, do you not hear
weird.
what happened?
Yeah.
Do you not hear what happened?
David did
I
send me.
sent him.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It was brilliant. I was listening to the show and I sent him a message privately and said, "You know who Marcus Brownlee is?" And he went, "No, I don't." And then I sent him a picture of him and he didn't reply. And I thought he just doesn't want to admit that he knows who he is. 100%. He's seen that and gone, "Oh yeah, I do know who that is."
It turns out, yes, I did know who he was because I'd seen a
probably is
video
one
that
of the
he'd done
biggest
recently.
tech YouTubers on the planet.
All
that
I
guy.
say, all right, I know this is totally out of the. This is a weird thing to say. I get that, but you know when people are so popular on YouTube, and you have that natural reaction to someone and just go, "I don't like him. I don't care what he's like, and I don't care how many fans he's got. There's something about him I don't like." This is the one YouTuber that you look and you just think, "Yeah, I can understand why you are so massive." To be honest with you, you're really good at what you do. He's
really good. There's absolutely no
bullshit.
bullshit. It's just, it's just great stuff. Just lovely stuff.
Except for those weird fucking stickers that he wants to put on things. That's getting a bit. Come on now. It's you put it on your iPhone. I don't want a sticker on my iPhone. And you don't want it either. I just want to sell them.
Thomas Wadsworth. Hey guys, love the show. I think Matt and James held it together well on the recent episode. Yeah, it wasn't exactly laugh out loud comedy gold, but they have been funny too. I think the show wouldn't be the same without the full crew. Crazy to think these two had their own podcast at one point.
Jesus Christ. Thomas,
I mean, that's all over the shop, isn't it? That's
yeah.
But no, I think I agree with all those points. Every one of them. Wasn't funny.
No, I mean, jokes aside, it was a good
crazy
show
to
last
think,
week.
and
I
yes, it
enjoyed
wouldn't be
it.
the same without us.
Yeah, I liked it last week. I enjoyed it.
Ryan says, "My God, I love a good Matt and James show." Bill Toaster, we talked about Games Master last week, being
Bill Toaster.
Bill, being coming back. Bill Toaster, in the spirit of 90s nostalgia, what are the odds that the producers blow the dust off Craig Charles and have him present Games Master? He loves a reboot.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's a good
that could
shout.
also work.
Would not be a
when
bad
you
choice.
it completely hadn't occurred to me. Yeah, when you mentioned Richard Ayoade, I was like, "Fuck yeah, perfect." Because he's sort of like he's a. I don't think he's a gamer in any sense. Like he's obviously like a bit of a sort of awkward nerd, but incredibly charming with it. And I think he'd approach it with the right level of like of disdain, but just sort of enjoying the ride. You know?
Yeah, I think it'd be absolutely perfect for it.
It's between either him or Piers Morgan. I think they both bring the same vibe to Games Master. And,
it's hard to say.
it'd be it'd be great.
I mean, one
I
or
still
both,
think they
David.
need
One
to
or both.
give Dexter Fletcher another go. They got to give Dexter Fletcher another go. Yeah, I'm sure he's free.
I think Craig Charles would be pretty good though. I'd be up for that.
Craig Charles would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Awuga back. Go
Bring the
full
Wooga back.
Cyberzone, leather trench coat.
I'll bring
the
the
lot.
Wooga back.
I try and
Take
bring
it to
a
the
Wooga
chorus.
back on a daily basis in my house. It still hasn't caught on.
Chen's just not having it at all. She's just
James, that's because the clip you keep sending everyone, you can barely hear it. Get a better version.
That's part of the funny. That's why it's funny. Like,
That's
you just
part
hear it.
of the funny. Could that be the show title, Matt? Part of the funny.
I'm just writing bring a
Because
Wooga back, but okay.
Okay,
Did
right,
you say
cool.
bring? What did you say? That's part of the funny. Oh God.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay. Yes. Nick Hanan. Oh yeah, I got a lot of messages about this, about my 6 figures mistake. Nick Hanan. 6 figures means in the hundreds of thousands, not millions. Yeah, I've got lots of people telling me that. Saying, are you an idiot?
John texts me. I completely missed it. John texted me and said, "Why does Matt think 6 figures is a million?" I was like, "Oh God, Matt, no."
I mean, it could be 999,999.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
fair.
about. Yeah.
It's not a million, though, is it?
Actually, but I think actually in the piece it just said 6 figures, but it doesn't matter. It's a mistake, and now I know that's not the case. Anyway, Nick carries on.
Someone's learnt about numbers this week.
This is just more praise, but I'll read it anyway. Anyway, loving James Matt edition of the show. For long term, of course, I like the episodes of all 4 of you, but I love the cheerful, friendly, no arguing duo as a one-off. No matter what combination of characters are on, it's the best podcast in gaming. Too much mushy praise, so be it. Thanks, Nick.
Oh, cheers, Nick.
We'll end that there. Garrison
Appreciate you.
Savannah. Just wanted to say thanks to Sean for the recommendation of Mars Horizon a few weeks ago. Got it on the Switch and I've been really enjoying it for the last week or so. It helps pass the time during boring Teams meetings. I'm wondering if Sean has tried Crying Suns. It sounds like a Sean game, indie space strategy roguelike. I realise it's an older game, but it came to my attention as a freebie on the Epic Store and I've been really enjoying it. Apologies if you spoke about it way back when it first came out. Keep up the excellent work. Listening to the pods is one of the few things I look forward to each week. Cheers, guys.
Oh, nice. Cheers.
Yeah, it was a game I kept coming across because I was trying to find like a decent sort of space strategy game on my phone because there's loads of them, but they're all shite. And I kept seeing that, and it was about a tenner, which for a phone game is obviously absolutely extortionate.
it makes you breathe through your teeth.
Exactly, which is completely unfair, but there you go. But yeah, no, I also grabbed it for free from the Epic Store, so I am going to get round to it at some point, but I haven't yet.
That's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
That's a lot cheaper, isn't it?
It's £10
saving
less
there. So
than £10.
What are you going to do with that £10?
Sweets, probably.
God.
Chopper chops. Sure, Sura has messages.
Trundling towards your 40s.
Sweeties. Hi,
Sorry,
guys.
Matt.
I'm glad you liked my list of old things that new listeners should know. I think you will regret asking for more. The first one's a little bit redundant, but proves it's true. Talkie One loves giraffes because they got long necks and don't give a fuck. One guy worked in a hobby train shop at 16, snagged an exhibitor's pass to some game expo, took one of the others along. They wore full suits, again at 16, classy. No, I didn't take one of the others along. That was my friend Matt Morley who came with me.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of these guys.
Matt Morley and Matt Murray going.
Well, because the thing is,
cracks me up every time. It's amazing.
well, yeah, because Sora doesn't seem to know our names. They probably thought, oh, that's Matt. Yeah, Matt Morley. That's one of the hosts, isn't it? Yeah, whoever's talking now, whoever that is, went with Matt Morley, who's one of the other hosts. So that's.
I've asked you this every time, but do you still have contact with Matt Morley?
Yeah, no, because after the last time we mentioned it, I asked him for if he had pictures. But he is in the army, and he sent me like basically he was busy, and he did send me some pictures, but they're really small. But I felt bad saying, "Could you go back on your computer and do that instead of defending our country or whatever you're doing?" Because I've got a podcast, and what can I put to entertain? You don't know, you're born. So I haven't gone back to him. But no, he's very much still alive.
Could we get him on the show?
Mate. Look, I've had to stop defending the country because I've got to send photos for a video game podcast. Yeah, it's not really. It's not really. All right,
Okay. The sleepy one had birthdays for their kid on convenient days since she was too young to tell the difference. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's true, but there was reasons for that.
I think there are reasons, yeah. Someone rekindled their sex life by listening to the podcast. No, they didn't turn the podcast off during or after. They didn't turn the podcast off during or after. Yeah, this topped the guy who lost his virginity 10 seconds after ordering some merch for their old podcast.
It was hiding the merch, if I remember correctly. It was
wasn't it a mouse mat?
Midnight Resistance mouse mat.
Yeah, which they had made themselves.
They rushed into the bedroom to prepare the room and saw that mouse mat, and that was the first thing
to do is throw it out of the window.
Yeah.
They called Assassin's Creed too long at the same time as playing 150 hours on Animal Crossing.
That's true.
Nearly 300 now. But yeah.
Animal Crossing is way more tedious as well.
and still an explanation on why the Computer Game Show podcast.
I will say this, right? We've been attacked constantly on our opinion of Assassin's Creed, but no one has done it that perfectly. Like that is a direct slap to the face. Usually it's like, but you really like it, and you're just like, oh, come on, you can't ever go and say, oh, but it's really good. But that's not going to convince it. But highlighting the fact that we put in that amount of hours into Animal Crossing over Assassin's Creed is a fucking fair shout. It's a fair shout.
And he says, they say, still an explanation on why the Computer Game Show podcast has colour pencils as a logo. Thanks for the hours of fun.
Oh, why is there? Yeah, what was? There wasn't an explanation, was there? We were just sent about 8 different designs.
Yeah,
just like that.
Four colours in a quirky angle.
They had to resend all those designs because I put a typo when I was writing the email to the artist, and they all come back the Computer Game Show, and we had to get them to because they didn't look at that, and they thought, yeah, that sounds like a title David would come up with.
Yeah, but also you saw them before. These are great, Matt. What do you think? Right. Is this a joke?
Yeah, I just forwarded them straight into the group, didn't I? I just went, what do you think, guys? They were like, well, it says the Computer Game Show to start with.
Why is it spelled like that?
Yeah, ask me how I'm spelling that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, go on. Yep.
Okay, this is now Anime Dude. I'm willing to offer Dr. Farley tickets to the next Hatsune Miku concert and a Funko Pop figure of the singer in exchange for his PS5. I'd even gladly throw in a gently used body pillow to sweeten the deal. James?
Absolutely not interested. I mean,
that's bullshit. Why are you lying?
What, a ticket to a gig and a Funko Pop and a pillow? What's wrong with you?
Well, okay, I hate Funko Pops. Like, really hate them.
Bollocks.
It says man who has 4,000 amiibo.
Yeah, that's different. Amiibos are good, but yeah, Funko Pops
Amiibos are functional.
Exactly, yeah. They allow me to get
cool.
extra coins and things in games.
Go on.
And Hatsune Miku, I'm not interested in at all.
Bollocks. Don't agree. Don't believe that.
But it's true.
Bollocks.
And, I mean, why would I want a used body pillow? I mean, that's just weird.
Only gently used.
Because
gently, yeah. It's barely been humped.
They might. I mean, I think they probably improve with a bit of use.
Because you're a pervert.
Yeah, exactly. They need to soften up a bit.
Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry, I felt a bit.
But James, you've already
saying
played the free games out for the PS5. You might as well. What else are you going to play on it for the next few weeks?
It's true, and one of them was rubbish.
That's true, yeah.
Don't mention that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Dev hasn't got one. Not sure if anyone's heard. Carl Tayaz. Hello, I'm writing in regards to the xCloud convo. You seem to be blaming Microsoft for not having their app on Apple devices. Was Apple in their store the reason it's not on there in the first place? A lot like why Epic removed themselves from the Apple stores. Was it all not down to Apple controlling the apps and also taking the profit share from the apps? Really, Apple should be more open to having these apps on their devices rather than the other way around. And we're coming to an agreement with Microsoft and Epic to have these massive apps on their platforms. Thanks, Carl. No, we know it's definitely an Apple thing. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's also
it is an Apple thing, but
misunderstood
it's nothing to do with revenue and stuff, right? It's more just that Apple wanted every game on there to be considered as a separate app just for certification.
Well, no, it is
purposes.
technically to do with a revenue thing because they see it as a store in their ecosystem,
right?
Because you have to pay for access to each game,
Gotcha.
or to pay for the games, and it's like, well, hold on, you're essentially just running a store from our from our phones and everything.
Okay, so I thought the issue was more that, like, essentially, they would have one app that then they can sort of technically throw umpteen games up on without Apple having any oversight. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it was still like Apple just being sort of willfully obstructive because they don't want a competitor offering a cool service on Apple devices. But it's totally Apple's fault.
But also,
but more to the point, you didn't say it was Apple's. Right, okay, gotcha, go on.
We weren't talking about xCloud. We were talking about remote play and stuff like that, which is different. Like the thing that we were complaining about was the fact that there isn't the Xbox app doesn't work on like Apple TV, for example. There isn't like a Mac version of it. That's what we were complaining about, not xCloud. That's the other issue.
Yeah, Carl. Cameron Ashworth, after recoiling in horror at Matt's admission for the love of Anton Deck or PJ Duncan, as he probably knows them, I was left reeling, dazed and angry that he not once but 3 times called the single Let's Get Ready to Rumble psych. I think Matt needs to update his algorithm other than this great show. Well, I didn't say both of those words. That was actually James who said that. I probably just said, yeah, you know.
I mean, it's also worth pointing out Cameron Ashworth has misspelled psych. There was a P in it. They still spelled it wrong on the name of the album.
That's embarrassing, Cameron. You've really let yourself down there. I mean, I'm left reeling for that typo. Psych, etc.
I had that album on tape.
Did you guys not like Anton Deck? PJ Duncan when
man.
Exactly.
I had Psych on tape. It was wicked.
Oh, did you?
I had nothing to do with them. No, I had nothing to do with them. But I do like Anton Deck, except for when he did the driving and that. That was bad, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, that was
Next.
okay.
I like Spike.
It was bad though. No, fuck him for doing that. Sorry. Go
on. Okay, Sam Hartford, Sean. For fuck's sake! What? Okay, can I just carry on? Sean.
Yeah, go on.
Please put C of. You alright, Sean?
Yeah, I said hello. You said Sean, so I said hello.
Please put Sea of Thieves on hold and play Greedfall. It's on Game Pass, and you can get through it in a week. Plus, during that time, you can practice your Cornish accent for your glorious return to the high seas.
Do you know, I have got this downloaded. It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
What isn't?
Well, exactly. I think it was on PS Plus as well, because I had it on the PS4, and then I was like, it's on Game Pass. I'd rather play it on the Xbox, actually. So, so I've got it downloaded. I do want to give it a try. I did get to use my Cornish accent the other day because Isaac was being an arsehole and not eating his dinner. And he started talking about pirates. And I was like, right, do you want to hear a pirate story? And basically just relayed the tale of an evening on Sea of Thieves, but in my best pirate voice. It was great.
Was he riveted, Sean?
He was. He loved
it. Oh my God. He's good,
I mean, he is only 3, James. Don't it's not like...
Did you tell him the same story the next week?
No, because as you know, James, I always make sure that my Sea of Thieves content is fresh every single week.
Okay. do you get the feeling that maybe lockdown has really affected us this time? Like the third lockdown is the one that broke us. We got Matt, who seems to be tripping himself up with emails and then shouting at us all through it. We've got James seems to be on the attack with everyone. Sean brings up Sea of Thieves every week, and I'm just... there's no change to me. I'm just a cool dude. I can
got it together, baby. Right, we're going to end with Rafi.
Oh, dear.
Hey guys, as you are my primary source for Stadia news, I was a little confused about how your coverage of the Terraria story went. The CEO didn't just forget his password and was locked out. His account was disabled by Google with no explanation, and he had to spend months trying to recover the account and the items within the Google Drive. I work at a studio and we use Google Drive as a company to share and create certain documents internally with ease. I would be pretty upset if some of my work was suddenly inaccessible with no explanation and had been locked out of it for months. I definitely don't think this is him throwing his toys out of the pram, but more so a realisation that maybe Stadia is not taking partnerships with development partners seriously. And we all know they need games for the service if they aren't developing any first party. That being said, I'm not sure who's waiting for the power of Stadia to fully realise Terraria when it is available on every single platform, including mobile. That's it.
Fair point.
Yeah, I get that, yeah. I did also think that was a bit
Can I make
weird.
a suggestion here? Because this is I've been in this situation before, and I've heard it on the radio a hell of a lot. Was this one of these situations where neither of you really knew the story, but it sounded like you were both taking a step up a ladder and like supporting each other with these? Because it was, first of all, I can't see why he would do that. Maybe he just got locked out. What, he just forgot his password? Yeah, who gets angry about just forgetting it? And it was building up on these like thrones of guessing, and then by the end of it, you were both really angry at this guy because he'd forgotten his password. Like,
which was, it was never
that
true.
is pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah, I thought so. I've listened to a lot of radio.
I think it was a silly story, but yeah, obviously there's a serious side to forgetting your password. If you want to leave us feedback, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs.
James, it is the news.
MPs are proposing a bill to make console scalping illegal amid PS5 and Xbox Series shortages. So
I'm all for it.
Why? It's great. What's wrong with it?
I am all for it. Yeah.
So this is SNP MP Douglas Chapman, and he's had this campaign going for a little while now. And the bill is entitled, it's the Gaming Hardware Bill 2019-21. And it would operate in a similar way to the ban on ticket touting, which happened a few years ago, apparently. Although I don't know anything about that, so don't ask me.
Yeah, because that was horrific. Is that like ticket touting around venues, or does that also include the fact that Ticketmaster sell out within seconds and then have a reseller website, a partner reseller website that sells them for 3 times the amount? That's got to be illegal, right? That has got to be illegal. That was mental. Sorry, James, really continue.
So he said that he feels it's unlikely that it's actually going to come to play. Like the bill probably won't pass or anything, but they're hoping that this...
Why? Why does he think that?
Well, because it's a private member's bill, first of all. So it's not like this is not like being tabled as like a massive sort of discussion in Parliament sort of thing. It's only like a it's a private member's bill, which is much smaller in scope, and so he's not expecting it to go anywhere. Usually when people introduce these, they're to sort of push things in a direction that they're hoping will then lead to legislation in the future.
Okay. Do you think, like, for me, it felt like this was one MP that couldn't get a PS5? And now suddenly he's like,
he's
I'm going for this. Like, I'm really pissed off.
Like, Argos is terrible, game website's terrible.
If I was an MP, I'd definitely be doing that. I'd definitely be getting in, like, putting these laws in, going, scalpers. Also, you can't buy a PS5 until every member of Parliament owns a PS5. Let's push that through. Anyone against that here? It's been crazy out there. It really has been crazy out there. I mean, as listeners know, I've been deep within this scene for 2 months now, I think, or just over, maybe a month and a half. But it's crazy. I mean, this morning, it was by the sounds of it, Sony are sending 1 shipment a month to the UK, right? And they're being distributed amongst retailers. Amazon got their allocation, or they released their allocation this morning, literally seconds, and it was gone. I was hammering the add to basket; it was just failing every time, and because Amazon don't care, it's interesting because there's that other thing about Argos. So the way Argos do it is slightly different, and I think it's quite an intelligent way of doing it. So instead of going to a single source for to buy a console, they have basically distributed the PS5s across all Argos stores. So when you go to purchase one, you're essentially purchasing it from a local store rather than a central pool, like a central warehouse. It makes it harder for bots because they're all over the place. They can't buy them all from all those separate stores. They're going through that one website. But they also launch they drop their stock at between 2 and 5 a.m. and they don't announce what day they're going to do it. So the people that I've come to speak to regularly in these streaming chats,
would you say you class them as best friends, or?
Not at this point, but the way you're carrying on, Matt, one might take your slot. So you watch it, son.
What?
All right.
Sith Lord 69, he's not coming on this show.
Yeah, Sith Lord 69 is very close to coming on the show, Matt, and you watch it back, mate. But some of these people they get rumours that Argos are dropping tonight, and then they stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning every morning, and then they know that the rest of the retailers tend to drop about 9 o'clock, so they're waking up for that as well, and they're not getting any sleep, and it's really messed up. And I was thinking, why launch it at that time? Surely that's perfect for bots. Not many members of the public going to be up at that time trying to order the consoles or whatever. But someone on Rollmop pointed out, when you're Argos, you don't want to launch a console during the day or drop your stock during the day where a million nerds are refreshing your page constantly and going to take your website down. And that's only a small portion of what you sell. So when someone wants to go, I don't know, get a lawnmower or whatever from Argos, they can't because the PS5 is available for 5 seconds or whatever. So that's what people are doing. They're staying up all night. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. And there's only one way to fix it, and it's to flood the market. Because then scalpers are not going to be interested. The flipping, the money, the profit they're going to earn on flipping consoles won't be as high. But they can't do that yet. They're not generating these. They're not producing these consoles in those numbers to be able to just flood the market like that. It's a bit of a shit situation at the moment. So I mean, if I don't get one in the next couple of days, then that's me for another month. It's a bit disappointing.
I'm still trying to get one, but it is tough actually. Yeah,
have you been trying?
I also followed two or three PS5 stock accounts.
Is this just to prove me wrong?
Yes.
Is it just to prove me wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine.
And I set notifications on for their tweets, and they're like, get in the live stream now. And I've been having these live streams on in a different window because the live streams a few of these people seem to be doing is just a live stream of their computer desktop with 5 different windows open, showing the Argos website, every website just refreshing every 5 seconds automatically. Yeah. I've also got this
script
which shows stock status of all these websites as well.
Is that on Twitch? Twitch?
It's just YouTube links, the ones I've been seeing.
All right, so Retro Alpha Wolf is the guy on Twitch you wanna go and visit, because that's been the best place that I've seen. There's also some sub gambling mini game in the chat as well, which I've become a bit addicted to. But that's the one I've been going on. But so were you on the Were you trying to get one from Amazon this morning?
No. I was too busy at work, so I had a couple of days the other day where it was 6 in the morning. I was up and I was like. And they were tweeting about, it could happen any time, but obviously it's just impossible. But no, I still think I'm going to get one. So, but the notifications on tweets, I'm having to turn them off because it's just getting constant. And then they're retweeting saying, look, a bunch of people got PS5 thanks to our thing. But it's just insane. That's annoying. What's more insane is that think back to pre-launch and. Myself and James, I think others had multiple PS5 pre-orders at that point and cancelled them because we wanted to make sure we're guaranteed one, and then we did, so cancelled the rest. And then from so many people, I bet having multiple pre-orders to now this, where it's just absolute disaster.
Well, I wasn't in a position to buy one back then, but I sort of am now. And I'll tell you this, Matt, I'm out of the game tomorrow. I am out of the game. I'm out all day.
Absolutely. That's like me with betting. It's okay, that's it. No more. No.
Bet. I mean, literally, I'm in meetings. I'm out of my flat in meetings tomorrow. So I cannot be sitting next to my laptop watching the stock informer tick by. And Very have already said, we're launching tomorrow morning. So we're dropping tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So if you're there,
I created a Very account the other day because I tried to log in when someone's like, it could be Very, and I'm like, okay, I'll create a new account. But I think with Argos is that. I got burnt when I was ordering my, I think Xbox or PlayStation 5, because when pre-orders opened for them first time, I instantly bought one or clicked buy, and then I got charged within a second of me pressing the buy button, and then turns out I didn't actually have enough stock. So it took me 5 days to get the money back. So if I could still do that,
right. Yeah, I remember that.
Basically, if they said, "Oh, you get stock on Argos now," I probably wouldn't bother because I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to press buy,
they've
spend
changed
£900 or something."
The last thing that happened last month, but they've changed the way they approach that now, and they from what I've read, they refund instantly. This is all very boring. But what I will say, it's quite fun. You know, the chase is quite fun. Like, waiting, the alarm's all going off and you're trying to buy one or whatever. I'm not disliking the experience.
Yeah, but when you get the PlayStation, you're like, well, this isn't... Now where's my next hit?
Yeah, when I finally get one, I'm going, oh, great, all of this for the ugliest console of all time. And the fact that I can't play this hunting game anymore. That's a bit sad. But, you know, whatever. I'll get one eventually.
So that's me and James also trying to get PlayStation 5s for you now, is it? Surely you need to up your game.
You've been trying to get one as well. James hasn't said anything to me. You've been trying to get one.
I tried it on Simply Games today, but... we talked about that before the show, didn't we? Yeah.
Well, £650 bundle.
Well, that's why I stopped, because I was just like, I'll see if I can get one on here, and it was like, I was like, nope, I like David, but not that much. So,
I nearly bought a...
I was very close to buying a bundle the other day. I also went a step further. I just really remember now. And I logged into the game account and changed my address to your address, thinking, okay, if I get a second, I'll press bang. And on Amazon as well, my default address now is your address. Had to change it the other day before I quickly ordered some Lego to your house for Elodie.
Wait a minute. If you get a second...
No. If I get as in 60 seconds, if I get 1 second of time to order something, as in if I see it in stock, you've got a second until someone else nicks it, haven't you? Yeah. But I was also very close to buying a bundle. I was like, hang on, there's a bundle here of an extra controller and Demon Souls. I'm like, well, I will want to play Demon Souls, and one of us will get the pad. I'm like, well, it's only it's 550 quid. If it means getting a console,
no, that would have been alright.
But anyway,
that would have been alright. I mean, I nearly bought a £600 bundle the other day because it was stuff that I knew that I'd eventually buy.
2 T-shirts and a bum bag.
I even nearly bought a digital console this morning because I just thought, fuck it. But I shouldn't do that, really, should I? I don't know.
No, you'd be an absolute mug to do that.
Not with 70 quid games. No way.
I don't know if I would. Yeah, this is a £70
No,
game
I talked to John. I was always saying, he's like, oh, brilliant. And then he kind of remembers, oh, no, it's 70 quid or 60 quid for that game.
I don't think he has. I think I might have embellished that a little bit. But also, it does look way nicer, that digital console. That's the problem. It still looks shit, but it looks slightly less shit without that disc drive.
I just don't notice anymore. I'm looking at it every day. I just, I don't think, oh, that's ugly. It's just a thing now.
Yeah, but is that because it's in your office or whatever?
Yeah, so I'll see.
Whereas it's going to be in my front room. Joe's going to comment on it constantly.
And it looks way worse lying down. I think both of them do. But
I'm not having it lying down.
I don't think it makes much difference, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I've got mine laying down. You kind of get used to it, but yeah, it is a monstrosity. It doesn't look good.
Oh, really? You love it? Oh, that's interesting.
You say it's not that big. Not that big.
It's not that big, but
with the build.
It is a monstrosity still.
Good luck with the build, Douglas Chapman.
Not that big. Not too big. Next news story, James?
Yeah. So, do you remember the hackers with Cyberpunk 2077? Did we talk about this on the show?
I do remember them.
Yeah, it was the CD Projekt Red in general, wasn't it? There was a big old hack. And what was it? They basically claimed to have nicked source code for Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3. And did they say they'd taken personal info or anything?
Yeah, there's HR files and all that kind of thing they said they got.
Yeah, which is obviously makes it a whole other level of scummy, doesn't it? But
yeah. So then it turned out that they gave CD Projekt 48 hours to contact them before they auctioned off the data. That was the threat. And it turns out now that, according to Games Industry Biz, that has actually taken place now. And the data has been sort of sold off via a forum, which is in Russian, so I don't know. I can't read it.
Well, this is a good opportunity for me to announce that I've been saving up on Patreon money for a while. And good. Anyone want to know anything about Witcher 3? Come to me.
No, you're right. Cheers, Matt. You wasted your money.
No, but it's going to have ray tracing. I don't know if you knew that.
Go on, James.
Yeah, so apparently the group were asking for a starting bid of $1 million, and there was with a minimum offer of $500,000 to begin with, or the option to purchase immediately for $7 million. So it was buy it now.
Yeah, eBay buy it now. Very tempting.
Do you reckon they did that thing as well where they wrote look with at signs?
Yeah, stuff like that. Ultra rare. Yeah. Yeah. What you mean? I save on shipping? Oh, okay, fuck it. I'll pay $7 million.
Yeah. But yeah, they said, and apparently the group have said that an offer was received outside the forum that satisfied us, with the conditions of further non-distribution. In this regard, they were forced to withdraw the lot from sale. Yeah, I mean that's exactly as it's written, so it doesn't really make much sense. But there's nothing has been said about.
So they didn't sell it. What?
It's not clear. I'll read it again. An offer was received outside the forum that satisfied us. With the conditions of further non-distribution in this regard, they were forced to withdraw the lot from the sale. So, does that mean that they sold it?
No, they were selling it on that forum, but an outside bidder come and bought it.
Yeah, so then they had to withdraw it from the forum, yeah.
Fucking hell. Well, not that complicated, go on.
Yeah. But there was nothing about the HR documents, though. This seems to be just the source code.
So this is the first time you're reading this?
Oh.
Okay, alright, go on.
He practices, David, don't you know?
Yeah.
Is he? In front of the mirror?
In front of a mirror, yeah. That's the thing. Okay, so that's that. Do you want the next story? Or do you want to
just
talk
quickly,
about that?
am I really stupid? I don't see the merit in. Thanks. What's the merit in buying the source code for The Witcher 3
I don't
now?
understand it either, Sean, to be honest with you. I don't understand what the source... I don't get it either. There must be some work in there that you can... I don't know. I
don't know enough. But to me, when a game, because it's quite old now, The Witcher 3. I mean, when did it come out? What, 5-6 years ago?
What's the source code?
Idiot.
Is it just like how it works and that?
So the source code it's basically essentially the entire inner workings of the game laid bare before it's then compiled into a form that runs on a console or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I just.
Yeah, so you would imagine the only one interested in that is someone that is making a game.
Oh, so you're thinking Phil Harrison at Stadia?
I'm thinking probably Phil Harrison.
Do you think he's done it? Do you think he's bought it? This is his next big move.
Yeah.
They released
Could
The Watcher
be
4.
Peter Molyneux's gone quiet, hasn't he?
It could be Amazon.
He's
Amazon
not. He's
need the
actually
same
laid
for
off a
Luna.
load of people this week.
Oh, was he? Oh,
Yeah.
He's not gone quiet. I wish he would go quiet. That's terrible news. Way to bring it down. Charles Martinet maybe wants to break out and do his own series. Do you reckon?
Just to voice his own original character.
It's me, The Witcher.
Yeah. He found out he's not in the film, and he thought, "Fuck this! I'm going to make my own character." It's called Brian, and he's a carpenter.
Brian Witcher.
I don't know. I should make it clear that none of those people were involved in the purchasing of the Witcher 3 source code.
you.
That was all
just libelled them.
comedic.
Yeah,
It
that
was
just
all
seems a
comedy.
strange thing to buy in 2021, but there's all sorts of interesting reasons why it could be valuable to someone.
I think a lot of people, to get through lockdown, they're just buying all sorts of mad shit, aren't they?
That's true.
They need something like, fuck it, I'll buy something on Amazon or whatever just to feel something for 2 seconds. And maybe they're like, you know what, I'm sick of this lockdown. Let's spunk 7 million on Witcher 3 source code. Why not?
Exactly. I bought a radio controlled car the other week.
James?
And some people buy the source code to The Witcher 3. It's just,
Yeah, Matt, what was yours? What was your weirdest purchase throughout all of this pandemic that you just thought, yeah?
I don't really make strange purchases. Everything's very calculated for me. Right?
Bullshit.
I think about it. I don't make it off the cuff purchases. Everything was planned and scrutinized and a million hours of YouTube research done beforehand.
How are you married?
How? Have you seen me? See my face? See my body?
Good point.
See my
that's
door?
true.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
true. James, next news story.
Okay, so Microsoft is planning to merge ZeniMax into a new subsidiary that's going to be called Vault, and we're still not sure what's going to happen with releases on other platforms. So
the name's not encouraging, is it?
No.
Bin. We're gonna. All right, guys. Just to let you know, your two companies are going to be merged, and we're going to call you Trash.
You're called Recycle
Do you
Bin.
think because Vault, obviously, to vault something can also mean to leap over it, but it can also mean to lock it away and never let it out ever again. So...
yeah. Good point.
Very odd.
Yeah. So
anything else to say on this?
Well, no, we discovered this because of the the filing of the documents for the European Union for the for making the deal happen. And
finally, Europe's done something right. Am I right, boys? Jesus, fine. Carry on.
No politics, please.
So basically that's it. I mean, people are not really sure whether this is going to result in the games appearing on other platforms or not. Because the whole thing is that this like Vault, the company, will be like wholly owned by Microsoft, but it could work as a kind of an intermediary between like Microsoft and maybe third parties as well, like other companies. So no one knows yet.
The more I think about it, the more I think it won't be exclusive.
Sean. I'm struggling for anything. I'm struggling for a comment, something funny to say. I'm really struggling on this one.
All right.
Sorry, you sounded like you had something.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, the more I think about it, the more I think it won't be exclusive. I mean, like, even like that Sony game, MLB The Show, is now coming out on Xbox. And that's like the first PlayStation or Sony PlayStation game that's come out on other platforms. I know, like, this is obviously way
it'll be one
bigger
and only, though.
Sorry?
That's different.
Yeah,
That's
I know
different,
single games, but I don't know. I just think, like, the more I think about it, I just think, well, they're gonna make way more by saying their games on other platforms, and it feels like everyone's just molding into one. And...
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what Microsoft are thinking. That's exactly what Microsoft wants to do. Sony do not want to do that. I'm telling you now. But the PlayStation do not want to do that.
No, I'm not saying. But it has happened with one of their games. Admittedly, it's just like the baseball one.
Yeah, but that one of their games is so that they could get the license.
Yeah, so they could get the
it's
license.
Got nothing to do with wanting to sell more console. More. Yeah, trust me, it was the only way they were going to get that license. It just made sense for them. But I don't think they're going to be releasing Sony games on.
No, neither do I. But I think I'm talking about this, Microsoft's ZeniMax and Bethesda thing. I think that's much more likely to go cross-platform now.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
think it will.
I can see him do it.
I disagree. I reckon this. I think maybe initially, maybe for like a year or so, but I think that they will start to lock these down to just Xbox only, Xbox and PC. Otherwise, although it depends really on how well PS5 does. Well, because this is the whole thing, wasn't it? This is why they bought these, is so that they have content, and this is the differentiator.
Yeah.
If it's you can say we have.
Why do they want that content? What are they selling you?
On Game Pass, they're selling you Game Pass,
exactly.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So they want that everywhere.
Yeah, but you can't get Game Pass on PlayStation, everywhere. Can you? That's the whole point.
Not yet. Let's see what happens in a couple of years.
On PlayStation, they sell the 60 or 70 quid games, and on other, on the and sell Game Pass to everyone else for phones and xCloud and PC and console.
They'll have it everywhere.
Just cash money, innit?
Speaking of which, the browser-based xCloud has been spotted in testing. So, I mean, the screenshots from The Verge there's been, which have got like this. It shows like
was
a library.
Screenshots of The Verge there's been.
High temperature, did it? It was coughing, was it? Showing symptoms. In testing. I'm sorry, no, it's not my best work.
No,
James, go on.
Quite poor, actually.
Sorry.
So the screenshots show like a library of cloud-based games that you can get through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and then with sections for like genres and recently added games and stuff that's leaving soon and all that kind of stuff. And so it seems it's going to work on PC through browsers like Chrome and Edge and stuff like that. But apparently it seems that the public testing phase is now very close. Like it's going to come soon.
I mean, does anyone care that much?
Not really.
No.
It's not how I play my games. It's not how I play my games. And
because I know this is like this is the workaround for Apple devices as well, right?
Yeah.
And you guys bothered?
No.
Hold on. If I could play if I could play the games that I own on Xbox on my laptop, I'd be happy about that. Because at the moment, I love using. Yeah, all right. There's no need to call me that. I love playing. It always gets a laugh. I love playing remote play on my Xbox, but on my iPhone. But that fucking screen is so small. I just think, why can't I do this on my Mac? But that'd be perfect.
This is exactly what we were complaining about last week, Dave. Like, why can't you do that? You can do that on PlayStation. Why can't you do it with the Xbox app? Ridiculous.
Well, it sounds like you should be able to do that soon, right? That's what it sounds like.
But the difference is that you can do that through remote play, like now. Like that doesn't, on like an iPad or whatever. But you can't do it through, on a Mac through remote play, which is really irritating.
Yeah, I know, but if it's fine, like if it works and it's got the same games on it, we'll see. All I want to do is play, Xbox games on my laptop. That'd be great. But yeah, it's not possible at the moment. It's bullshit. I agree.
Microsoft also detailed this new Xbox wireless headset that's coming out, which is coming on the 16th of March. And apparently, the good thing about this is it seems that you can fine-tune the headset settings, which I'm actually quite excited about this, because one of my biggest irritations with the Xbox is the fact that you can't adjust microphone sensitivity on it.
And the thing is, though, that shouldn't have to be a 90 quid headset.
Absolutely,
fix,
it shouldn't have to.
It should be...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Why is there not a setting just in settings to deal with that?
The whole situation
how do you mean
with
sensitivity? What do you mean?
How sensitive the microphone is?
Yeah.
You mean turning down the volume of your microphone?
Yeah.
Or increasing it so it's more sensitive. You can't do that. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
You can't.
The entire situation
no need
with
to call him that.
Audio devices on consoles is
I think there's no need
ludicrous.
to call him that.
All right.
Like
so
the fact that it's on the PlayStation. I mean, this is, I'm talking about the PS4. I assume the PS5 is the same. Like, you can plug USB devices into it. Like, any USB audio device seems to work. But if you want like a Bluetooth headset, it's got to be the Sony one. And then with the Xbox, you can't plug any USB audio devices in, and you can get wireless devices, but they have to be like official Xbox ones, or at least officially licensed.
Or the tune to the way they do that.
And it's just like it's all fucking like none of this is a hard like technical limitation. It's just licensing deals and just what they've.
I don't know if it's licensing deals. I think they've literally just the way they
it's the way they handle audio differently. I think
voice chat and they handle audio differently, and that's it.
I'm not that different.
Also simple things like being able to choose how sensitive your microphone is. That's part of Windows. Why can you not do that on an Xbox?
No, I agree with that, but we're talking about two different things. You're talking about problems with the way Microsoft handles audio, and I agree with that. That's shit. But Sean's talking about the differences between the two consoles and how they handle audio, and the fact that because they've got two different ways of doing it, you can't get one headset for both consoles.
You can buy any Bluetooth headset and it'll work on a PC, a laptop, a phone, a tablet from different manufacturers. Like, fuck it, that's not an excuse. It's literally just they want to control what devices you can use so they can sell you shit.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
But then they're only now selling shit. We're talking they put
but they've also been
in place.
They'll have been charging other headset manufacturers money to have the official Xbox license, won't they? Because there'll be a specific identifier, bit of code, whatever.
Yeah, that only happened actually just around the launch of the new series consoles. There was like a design for Xbox sort of logo and headsets and stuff that have been officially sanctioned.
I could see that, and that's fucking annoying. Definitely, I find it strange that both. Well, I mean, Sony did it last gen, didn't they? They started bringing out PlayStation headsets with their gold and platinum and all that sort of stuff. And then they brought out this, the 3D Pulse or whatever they call it. And now Microsoft are bringing theirs out. I'm surprised that it's taken this long for Microsoft to bring out like a, their own headset.
Like they had one already. There was one for the Xbox One.
Was there?
Yeah,
a wireless headset?
No, not wireless. This was a wired one as well. And I owned one, but it wasn't very good. It broke like quite quickly. It wasn't great, but it had like a tap mixer and all that kind of thing where you could.
Shit, man! Do you remember the original ones for the original Xbox? The ones that everyone had to sellotape on by like after about a month because it had this flimsy bit of plastic that connected the earpiece to the headband.
I had the little the wireless one they did for the 360. That was decent.
Oh yeah, that little thing. Yeah, it looked like when your uncle who worked for like a delivery company or something walked into the front room at a party and you just go, "Why have you got your earpiece in?" Just in case it was flashing blue. So they had that. Yeah, but do you remember the 360 headsets, which were good, but that foam turned a really nasty green colour after about a year.
It did.
It was horrible. Horrible thing. But no, I mean, I will say this. Totally agree with all your complaints. I think that headset does look nice.
Oh, it does.
I hope it sounds all right.
I'm sure it will.
You know how cheap headphones can sound shit, can't they? This episode of TCGS is sponsored by Soundpiece. Go to Soundpiece. It's when they didn't get in touch, Sean. It's fine.
Their loss. I've been doing some good work for them.
It's interesting. They've both gone for the same price point, roughly. I mean, Sony's is 90 quid and Microsoft's is 95, so a little bit more expensive. But that must be the sweet spot for selling decent headphones. I mean, I'd rather get one of those if they're decent than one of those fucking Elite controllers.
Yeah.
Am I mad for thinking that?
No, that's about right. But as you say, it was irritating. Like, it wasn't irritating. Like, I was looking at the features and I said in the WhatsApp chat, I was like, "Oh, amazing! It lets you control the mix between game and party chat audio, or whatever." And then I was like, "Yeah, but why can't I just do that in the software?"
Exactly.
The PlayStation lets you.
No, you can do that
on software. You can do
that on the. Yeah, you can do that on
if you go to audio
Xbox.
settings,
but it's only there's like 3 settings.
Yeah.
Where it's don't limit it at all, and there's like 50 or 80% game audio.
No. There's a
different one as well.
Where's the slider then?
Yeah.
So just if you're playing a game and you're in a party, but if you go, there is like an audio tab in like when you press the Xbox button.
Okay.
The thing you're talking about is in the proper like console settings, but there is one of the tabs as well that's you can change.
Yeah, if you go to bring up the guide, I think you go to the bottom right and it's settings, and then it brings up your audio settings, and you can reduce the chat, reduce the game audio. You can do all that. There's a slider there. Yeah,
well, I will make use of that. When playing Sea of Thieves. Go on.
But you can't do what James wants to do and increase or lower your microphone, which I think is needed, really, I think.
I mean, I spend obviously more for my headset, but I wanted one that worked on PlayStation, on Xbox and PC, Switch, mobile if you got USB-C. And so Xbox is my main console, so I bought the Xbox brand, the Xbox license one, because then it does give me the ability to, change my all those are settings and stuff. And it works on the PS5, but it doesn't have the specific sort of party settings. But the fact I can plug that, plug the USB dongle into my PC or my Switch or even my consoles is brilliant.
Yeah.
This looks nice.
How many USB have you bought? Multiple USB dongles?
No, before I got it, I did ask on Reddit for someone who had it. I was like, if I bought multiple dongles, would it work? And they didn't know, and I hadn't investigated it. But if I could, and I just had one plugged into everything, then I might do that. But I didn't go back to investigate. But it's I don't mind.
I will highlight this as well because we will get emails about it. If you buy like a normal headset with a microphone and it's got a wire in it, you can plug it into both pads, and it'll work just the same. That's one way of doing it. But to get a wireless experience, I think the only thing stopping me from ordering one of these things is A, I don't know what the sound quality is like, so I like to read the reviews, and B, I don't want enough. I'm charging fucking everything at the moment. Everything's on charge. Fucking headphones and laptops and phones and, cigarettes. It's just getting too much now. Books. For fuck's sake. All right.
Okay. Next story is that there is a law firm that is filing a PS5 DualSense drift class action lawsuit against Sony.
It's getting close to one of my predictions, isn't it?
Is this David because he's bitter because he hasn't got one, or is that what's happened?
I'm happy about this. No, I'm happy about this because it's getting closer to one of my predictions, Matt. If Sony respond, I get a point. Yeah, love it.
Well done.
Cheers,
so
mate.
This is the same company that are also pursuing Nintendo over Joy-Cons as well. Because they're all at it at the moment. The complaint is this: they said that it says that the DualSense is basically defective. They're saying specifically the DualSense controllers that are used to operate the PS5 contain a defect that results in characters or gameplay moving on the screen without user command or manual operation of the joystick. This defect significantly interferes with gameplay and thus compromises the DualSense controller's core functionality. And the complaint basically cites lots of online reports of people complaining about it on Reddit and social media. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll say this. Sony don't need to respond until Nintendo do. Fucking hell.
Or Microsoft. Because all three companies now are being sued for this, like at the moment.
Really?
Microsoft are being done for it as well. It's for stick drift.
John has mentioned to me, not so much stick drift, but he's mentioned to me that he's had a problem with the A button on his Series X controller. And I've been fortunate. I've not had any issues with mine so far, but there's nothing worse, is there? It's just such a whenever you get a problem with a pad, even if it's the battery running out a lot, I'll always defend that. There's been a lot of chatter this past month about Microsoft including the AA option, and I just think I like that idea. If I want a new battery for my pad, I can just switch it out by
I like
that stuff. I think it's a good way
because
of
also
doing
we get the
it,
option of buying a charge kit, or we can use the batteries.
Well, you say that. Have you ever actually looked for one?
Are they not available?
They're fucking you can't get playing charge kit. You can't get them for love nor money. It's bizarre.
Wait, are you looking for a Series X specific one? Because you can buy an Xbox One for
That's right. Yeah, they still fit, don't they? But I think they're still hard to get hold of, aren't they?
I don't know. Sean.
I mean, I'm going to check now before people email in.
I've attacked you there, mate, and I've got no idea. It's not right of me, is it? That's out of order of me. I apologise for that.
I mean, you can always get unofficial ones.
No, don't do that. Apparently, they're shite.
Yeah. Okay. Right, you can get. Here we are, the official one. A Microsoft Playing Charge Kit for Xbox One, but it is £31.
Whoa, hold on. The one I bought was like £15.
Yeah. That seems
You're
odd,
best off
doesn't
just
it?
getting
I think that
a decent
might be just a
rechargeable batteries,
fucking
right?
scalper.
Really?
Well, it's just a rechargeable battery and a USB cable.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. £30's a piss take. Is that the RRP there, Sean?
I don't think so, no. This is being sold by NX Tech on Amazon.
Oh, dear. Scalp.
Oh, the Nintendo NX. Okay.
Okay. All right. Where were we? Drift, was it?
Yeah, it's stick drift. I mean, everyone's got stick drift, and everyone's they're all having a go about it. Annoying.
That sums that story up. Go on, next.
Yeah.
Done.
So also, Nintendo have been discussing their growth plans as the console enters what they're calling its middle of its life cycle. So they've sold just shy now of 80 million units, which is 21 million short of what the Wii did. So it's doing really very well.
I need to go back and listen because very early on in this podcast life, me and you had an argument about how many systems they'd sell.
Yeah, I'm sure you were probably a lot more optimistic than I was.
I don't know if I was. I can't remember what the argument was, but I'm pretty sure we argued about how many consoles they were going to sell. But you were quite down on a Switch on the initial announcement, so maybe it was you that was saying they were not going to sell that many.
Probably, yeah.
But fuck, mate, that is a lot of consoles, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're doing really well.
It's really incredible. And according to their own research, they say that 20% of Switches sold throughout October and December were due to demand for multiple systems within the same family as well. So that's going on. That's Animal Crossing probably is causing that to happen.
No, that's you've taken your own personal story there, James, and projected it onto everyone else.
Well, no, because they've sold loads of Animal Crossing as well, so I think it works. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, good. I'm glad you've got an opinion.
So anyway, when they talked about what the plan is for future growth and how they're going to continue, with this over, as things go on, they basically they just said that the million-selling titles they've already had are going to continue to be key in growing the Switch. And they said that 80% of the games sold in major regions from April to December 2020 were ones that were released in the previous financial year or earlier. So basically, they're just saying,
how do they do it?
They're basically, we don't have to do anything now. We've got these evergreen titles, and that's fine. We don't need to do anything. And basically that's it. it's that
amazing.
There's not much coming. Although the big surprise is there's apparently going to be a lengthy Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Yeah, it will be today when this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you guys
it'll be
chatting
yesterday
about
when this comes out. Isn't it Tuesday night?
No, it's Wednesday night. We're going to stream it, Matt.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's not in 10 minutes. That's what we're...
Oh my god, I'm keeping it Monday. Christ. Okay, right.
Yeah, no, we're recording. Sorry, listeners, we're recording on Tuesday this week because James wanted to watch Chelsea. Apparently, that's an acceptable reason for Sean staying up till 4 a.m. editing.
Thanks, Sean.
Was it good? Was it good football?
It was a good game. Yeah,
yeah.
It was not bad.
Oh, good.
Do you know how many matches I've missed because we've been recording? I'm furious about that.
Hey, you can always change it. I'm fine with that. I don't have to
it's
see
not
the edit.
you I'm
I mean,
worried
to be
about.
fair,
It's the poor sod that has to stay up until 4 a.m. editing.
Like,
Exactly.
I mean, 'cause the thing is, I can't be angry at James because when we agreed to it, Matt was going to do the edit, but now he's got stuff on, so I'm taking the edit on. So it's not that James has stabbed me in the back; it's that he's tried to stab Matt in the back, and then I've pushed Matt out of the way. And
Thanks, Sean.
But no, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
The direct.
Nintendo,
Nintendo
yeah.
Oh, this
Sorry,
Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I saw you talking about it in a WhatsApp group, and you were pretty down on it, Sean and James. You were like,
Because
"It's
we've
gonna be
experienced
shit."
our previous ones, that's why.
The thing
I've got a
is, well,
feeling
yeah, that
it's
and
gonna be a
like
good one.
immediately, like when it was announced, fucking Twitter trends are like, Breath of the Wild 2. Fuck it, it's like, oh, calm down, for God's sake. Like, it's never.
No. I think it's going to be a good one, Sean.
Do you
I think it's
reckon?
going to be a good one. Do you know why?
It's got to be the Zelda one, isn't it?
Well, this isn't an indie showcase.
No, it's a proper
It's not
one.
a partner. What do they call it? A partner.
Partner show.
Partner direct,
showcase. So this is a Nintendo Direct, right? A proper one.
Mm.
What the fuck have they got coming up, Sean?
But
It's
it's
got to be
only
the
it's
35th
games
it's the
in the
35th
first
anniversary,
half
isn't
of the
it?
year.
What have they got coming up?
Hang on, James and Matt both talking at the same time.
Go on, James.
It's got to be the 35th anniversary of Zelda, isn't it? So there's going to be collections, I think, aplenty. That they're going to be
Great. I can't wait to see what. And if it is the 35th, if they're going to make it all Zelda and they don't show something from Breath of the Wild 2, then what the fuck? I mean, come
That
on.
would be
I
funny
think
as
they
fuck.
will, and then they're just going to say it's coming next year. Please understand. I think that's
Yeah,
what we're gonna...
yeah. If they do mention
Yeah,
Breath
I
of the Wild
mean-
2, the mention is going to be the most disappointing thing you can imagine.
We'll see. I just think they've got to. I think they've got stuff to show. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really confident this one's going to be. It's not going to be mind blowing because we've had all the major titles for the Switch, but
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be decent. But you guys were saying it's going to be 24 minutes of Smash Brothers.
It's because we've had that before. We've been burned
Yep.
before with
Well,
that.
I remember that. That E3 was a bad E3. Okay.
But yeah,
Alright.
but it's the fact that
Looking
it's
forward
just
to that
games
then.
coming out in the first half of 2021. So I can only see it being like a Zelda collections, awesome. Apart from that, I guess it will be things like Silk Song, I guess, right? Or would I say?
I mean,
that? feel
again, I would love that, but I'm not holding my breath.
Let's just see.
And the thing is,
Not
like, even
holding
if
your
there is a
breath after a
Zelda
while.
collection, after seeing the way they just farted out the 3D Mario stuff, I'm just like, right, well, not really.
Yeah, I'm not massively but I okay. If I was to make a prediction, I would say probably Wind Waker's coming to Switch, right? They've ported everything else that was on the Wii U to Switch. So
Good
yeah,
point.
yeah. Wind Waker seems nailed on.
I
Wind
still
Waker's
want.
coming
I'd
to
like
Switch.
Skyward Sword because I've never played that one. And
Yeah,
I
everyone
know-
moans about Skyward Sword, though, don't they, now?
everyone
They
knows
do.
about all of them, to be fair, apart from Breath of the Wild. I can't. I don't know. I think there's going to be some stuff in there that we'd be surprised at. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, we're going to be doing a talks over, I think.
Yeah.
So that will be, if you're listening the day this comes out on Wednesday, if Sean manages to do it, because Chelsea were playing, then we'll be
2-0.
streaming it tonight. 2-0 against Newcastle. Don't get too carried away.
Werner scored finally. But yeah, go on.
No one cares. So yeah, we're going to do a talks over that tonight. We might not all be there, but some of us will be there. So come and join us as we watch Nintendo Direct. And James laughs at me while there's 24 minutes of Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it'll
Who's
be
joining the
live on
fight?
the.
We could just have a nice
Zelda.
chat between us over the Smash Brothers stuff. It'd be nice. Just hang out.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Just catch up.
It'll be
Are we
live
done with
on
the news?
Twitch.
Is that it for the news?
I got one last story.
Sorry, Matt. You were about to plug.
Well, I
Go
was
on,
just
do your
saying.
thing.
Yeah, I was saying where they can watch it live. There's no
Go on then.
detail. There you
Good
go.
job.
So live on
Go on.
twitch.tv/TCGS code from probably about 10 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe. James,
That's what they
go
say.
on. Yeah,
Last
James.
run it.
What
so-
is
We've had. Okay, I've got one last story.
your podcasting career? Go on.
Yeah, obviously. So, no, I've got
just
one
just
last
hit
story.
you now.
Oh, it's always in the back of my mind, though. Every time I put my headphones on.
Our
that's
podcasting careers are doing good. After it's only taken about 15 years, we're getting paid.
Did you hear that? It's like, James, every time I put my headphones on, there's some sort of Cockney voice highlighting how bad I am at this, and I can't shake it. Go on, James, go on. What's this last story? It better be a good one.
Well, this is the thing. I was not sure whether to include this or not, because it does feel just wrong, in a sense. Okay. But more than 100 games are coming to Stadia in 2021.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Is that one game collection? Is that what it is?
Oh, no, okay, so the Stadia team put out a blog post. This was after they handled their first-party stuff, saying these games represent just a sampling of more than 100 games that will be added to Stadia Store for our players in 2021. These games include FIFA 21 and Judgment. Oh, yeah.
Great.
Cool. We've been playing. Is good stuff for the news. That was a good news week, I think. That was good. Well done, James. Well done, mate. What you've been playing then? Let's get on to what we've been playing this week. No, that wasn't patronising, was it? Did it sound patronising?
I'll just assume it is.
It wasn't meant to be, mate. Don't listen to Sean.
This is the thing, Dave. No one can take you, even when you're trying to be nice, no one takes you seriously anymore now.
James, don't listen to Sean. He's such a fucking stirrer. Every week he comes in here and stirs up arguments and shit. Don't listen to him, man.
Are we seriously saying I'm the one who stirs up arguments on this show?
Yep. Shall we talk about Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury? Because I'm like, this is the big release this week. I'm absolutely gutted that I can't play it. The reason why I can't play it is that I've got a copy in the house, but it's Harry's birthday next week, and he's getting it for his birthday, so I'm not touching it. And unlike James, I'm not willing to move my son's birthday just on a whim. So I have got to wait to play a game that I'm very excited to play. But Matt, James, you have played it. Before we go to you, Sean, you didn't buy this. You're not playing this.
No. Well, I've been on the fence for a bit, haven't I? Because I've still got it on the Wii U. So I'm like, so I don't really.
But you were going, oh no, I'll get it for the Switch. It would be stupid to play it on the Wii U, and it would be.
It would.
I'm really surprised you haven't bought this.
No, I mean I'm still open to the idea. I've just not I've not heard much about the Bowser's Fury stuff yet, and whether or not it's because I would just be paying for that.
We're nerds. We can't wait. If it's a day after launch, it's worthless. We get furious at the idea. I can't play a game on the day after launch. Fuck this. What's that? Amazon haven't delivered it on the right day. They're getting a fucking bomb threat. Sorry, go on, right.
Answer that. Yeah.
Sorry, no, you shouldn't say that on the podcast.
Do you want to apologise now? Or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. It was a gag. I didn't mean
before
it.
You ask, I haven't got time to edit it out, so don't even.
That's fine. Come on, what is it like? Let's start with the boring stuff first. What was 3D World like? Matt, you're playing it for the first time, right?
Yeah, playing for the first time.
Oh shit, of course.
And it's excellent. I played loads of this over the weekend. Elodie and I played co-op, and it was brilliant in co-op because Elodie's not really played loads of games. She loved Animal Crossing. That was like the first one she fully loved, and she also loved playing this with me. It's been brilliant. But what I was doing, I was playing. Well, we were playing those together, and I was playing in the evenings because at the time I thought, I probably have to finish 3D World before I get to Bowser's Fury. It was only when the game crashed on me, and I quit the game and restarted the game, and I somehow pressed right on the title screen that I realised, oh no, I can just select Bowser's Fury without having to finish 3D World.
It crashed on you?
I was going to say.
Yeah. No.
It crashing, Jesus Christ.
No, it's like, did it? No, I thought it crashed, but actually turns out it was an invisible enemy. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're not leaving
that behind. I beg your pardon.
So in Bowser's Fury, there's these bits where you're in an area you can't leave. You got to kill all the enemies.
Okay, this story's getting even more curious because You were talking about 3D World crashed, and that's why you went to Bowser's Fury, but you were in Bowser's Fury beforehand.
Oh, no, okay, no, that's a good point. In which case, I can't remember. But either way, it crashed and I restarted it.
It is a very good point, David.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Objection!
Something happened for me to quit and restart, basically. I think
Matt, you didn't buy the game, did you?
Matt,
you do not own this game, do you?
Have you played it?
Played what? Yeah, I've played Zelda. I've played. Fuck. No, it must have crashed, and I restarted it anyway.
What happened on the screen? What? So you're playing?
I can't remember. Lots of things have happened since then. I honestly cannot.
This game's been out for like 4 days. This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had to restart it for whatever reason. It must have crashed.
Sean,
it must have crashed.
Go, right?
Okay, well, give me 10 seconds and I'll think. It must. Anyway, it done something for me to think I need to restart this game.
What's that 10 seconds?
No, actually, no. I can remember now. Right.
Right, okay.
Here we go.
Let's
strap in.
Let's just let's forget the last thing's happened. I'll bring it up later, obviously. But let's for now pretend the last 4 minutes.
No, I was getting confused with another memory. I remember what it is now.
I'm so confused as to what is going on here.
Mate, I'm following this, and it's magic. Anyway, James, don't worry about it.
Right, so I restarted it because there was
restarted what?
I restarted Super Mario 3D World because Elodie and I were playing 2-player, and I wanted to use a Pro controller, and she wanted to use the other one, and I couldn't find a way to like switch controllers because it's just. Because you can select a number of different characters, obviously, in 3D World. She wanted to be Peach and use that controller. Anyway, in the end, I just like restarted the game, and then we both pressed L and R, and it was just made sense.
So stop there just for a moment. 2 things. First of all, switching who's player 1 and player 2 is probably the easiest on this console than it is any other current gen console, right?
Yep.
You just go down to the bottom and say switch what number you want to be. Like it's
really?
that simple.
What do you mean? So that's at the bottom in the main.
Yeah,
it
says change controller order. You go, you press the home screen, you go down. There's a little Joy-Con thing there.
I've never pressed that.
You click that, and then it says player 1 press L and R, player 2 press L and R. It's a piece
I didn't know that. I mean, go on.
Secondly, that's fine. How did you get from that to it crashed because an invisible enemy?
because I was in one of these arenas where you had to kill one of these enemies.
In Bowser's Fury, right?
Yeah, had to kill these enemies. And then I was like, has it crashed? And I was like, the music went weird. And I was like, well, I don't know. I can't get out of this arena, can't see anything else. And eventually, I found this invisible enemy hiding in a corner. And I just got the 2 memories mixed up. All right, Dave.
Can you relate to this at all, James?
No, because I don't know if you're talking. Hang on, are you talking about Bowser's Fury here or 3D World?
Yes, he's talking about Bowser's Fury.
Hang on, you said that's how you found out that you
could get. Oh my God, James! Fucking hell! Have you not listened to the past 5 minutes?
We've since separated the 2 memories now.
Yeah, James, I said that
James,
5 minutes ago.
Did you fall asleep? Do you take micro naps during the podcast, James?
Only when stuff just doesn't make any sense and I just don't care.
You've really got to keep up with my stories. Anyway, don't matter. I got a memory mixed up. Where was I?
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. So I was playing buttloads of 3D Worlds, and I've got up to like towards the end of World 6 and collecting all the green stars and one of the stamps you get in every level. So I did like loads of the game, and then it's only when I restarted I was like, oh no, hang on, I can just press right on the title screen and select Bowser's Fury, because I thought I'd have to finish it. So I played loads of 3D World, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've had some issues with the camera. I know it's not a full 3D Mario game because you can't, and for a number of reasons, but also you can't fully circle the camera around 360 degrees. And I get it probably does that.
You don't really need to, do you?
Well, there's some bits where I found myself wanting to, turn the camera around a bit more to get a different angle, but at some point it does kind of feel like it's kind of almost fixed camera because it doesn't allow you to throw the whole thing around 360.
Yeah, by design though.
Yeah, I remember but sometimes
I
wish I had more control over the camera, basically, is what I'm saying. There's a couple of times where I pressed it and it's like, oh no, I can't go any further. Well, I get it's doing that, but whatever. And I was really surprised and really happy to see the Captain Toad levels, because I hadn't played Treasure Tracker, and they were an absolute joy.
Is that where it started, Sean?
Yeah. Because remember, everyone was like, oh man, they should do a game of these. And then they did.
Captain Toad was in Galaxy, wasn't he?
Was he? Oh, the character. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the character was in it, but those levels were introduced in 3D World.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't played Treasure Tracker, but though they're an absolute joy to play. They're brilliant, and it's really fun playing co-op. If I died or if Elodie was playing and I'm like, no, go here. Well, obviously we're playing together. I'm saying like, come here. I'm going to change the angle of the camera. You go up there. I'm already up here. That was brilliant to play co-op, and those levels were a joy. And yeah, playing through levels from Hirschham is one thing, but I made a point. I didn't want to like leave the world or leave the level without having gone back and getting all the 3 green stars you can get in everyone, and also the stamps.
God, they're so good. Yeah,
I presume
the green star thing is so good because there's such a rhythm to them that you could, after playing half of that game, you could go into a new level that you've never been in before, and 9 times out of 10 you go, I bet there's a green star behind that.
Yeah, definitely. You understand the language of the game
really good.
So well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I presume the stamps are also in the previous one. It's really well changed.
They were.
In any way, shape,
they were
or
used
form.
for Miiverse stuff.
They were. Yeah, they're in 3D World. Yeah, part of them.
So 3D World hasn't changed at all, right? It's the same game. Have they added anything?
Up. It's fast. It runs faster than the what's it called than the Wii U version. Apparently, yeah. I've not noticed because I've barely touched it.
I was going to say because I thought the Wii U one was solid 60, but maybe not.
No, it's not. No, it's nothing to do with frames. What they've done is, so it's got a run button because it's that sort of hybrid between 2D and 3D Mario, so it's got a run button like 2D Mario did, but the standard walking in the Wii U version was really slow. And now the standard walking is a lot quicker. You watch a comparison, it's like, fuck me, this is really different. And it's probably the right thing to do because all you did playing that game was hold down the run button. There was literally no reason to really use the walking button. I think they just slowed that down for younger players. But realise that actually younger players are fine. You know what I mean? It's also not that much of an issue.
It makes it harder as well, anyway, for people like because one of the things that like whenever I play with Chen or whenever I play with maybe not with Rachel, she's nailed it now really, but it's like there's that whole thing where you have to hold down the run button constantly when you're playing a Mario game generally, and then you just sort of like you just like tap to jump. For a lot of people, they find that really difficult, and they just don't do that. They just So I think this is something to make it a bit more accessible, actually, to people that don't want to hold down run constantly when they're playing.
I think you're probably right. I mean, if you slow it down too much, people aren't going to want to use it, but the run would be too quick for them. If you find that you increase the speed of that, then that seems like a decent enough speed where they're not feeling like they're walking in sludge. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how it feels yet, but I'm excited to see how much that changes things.
Yeah, but it's an excellent game. It's really fun playing co-op. So I'll be Mario and Elodie would be Princess Peach, and we'd have fun. I would like pick her up and throw her somewhere, across across a gap, or what she also found funny was that if a level got a bit hard for her, then she would just go in the bubble and follow me around as I was doing the level. But yeah, we had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun playing it over the weekend. It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and she even did one levels herself. Like there's one level like near the end. She doesn't play a lot of the games, so I'm sure like Harry and other people, it's nothing. But yeah, I was really impressed. Like there's one we had to get like a 6 key sort of icon, tokens, and before you can unlock a padlock. And yes, you got them, and I was really impressed. Yeah, we're both loving it, and I'm going to keep on playing it. I thought I was like, oh, am I like near the end of the game? But I think there's like a whole other half of the game still. So
oh god, it's quite long.
You're nowhere near because even when you think you finished it, you haven't. Because it's like opens up much more stuff.
Because
to do.
on the map, I was like, well, there's only like 5 islands here. I was like, did Island 5, and I was like, we might be able to find a boss now. And then I was like, oh no, there's a 6th one. And anyway, but yeah, I'm just near the end of World 6, and I'm loving it so far. It's just such a joy.
You might be near the end of the main game, right?
8 worlds, isn't it?
Oh, was it 8? Yeah, but that's not too far away. I think you're doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. You barely
I'm
played
glad
it,
you're
James,
enjoying
right?
it though, because it's one of the best.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But James, you said you barely touched it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've played it a little bit in co-op with everybody in the house. We had like 4-player, and it was awful. Like in the sense that it's just absolute chaos. Like when you've got 4 people playing that, especially because my son, like Asher, is just running off constantly to try and get to the end of the level as quickly as possible, which then just causes even more chaos and everyone getting annoyed. And he's just being an arsehole, basically. Like we're playing, like while we're playing it, and it's just, it's. I really feel that as a game, it works a lot better just with 2 people. Like I think that's the maximum you really
for sure.
do. More than
but
that,
it's fun to do with 4, isn't it? It's a bit of a laugh. Like, I mean, we've definitely got to do the online. Apparently the online works not flawlessly, but better than it did in Mario Maker. So
try that,
yeah, we should absolutely do a stream of that. That would be good.
Yes, I mean, instead, I played a little bit, but then I've put it down because I really wanted to play Bowser's Fury instead. Can I talk about it? Because I really want to talk about it.
Okay. Let's get on to Bowser's Fury. We all know that 3D World is, one of the best, and I've been absolutely shocked at the amount of people exposing themselves to not liking that game, and it shocked me to my core. When I heard Matthew Castle didn't like 3D World, I really like Matthew Castle and his podcast and his writing, but that just really infuriated me, to be honest with you. But that's fine.
Castle's a Galaxy guy, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's a Galaxy guy.
Which, I mean, and so am I. But 3D World's clearly still brilliant.
Yeah, 3D World's clearly still better, in my opinion. And,
what are people saying about 3D
Galaxy
World when they say
recently.
they don't like it? What's their comments on it exactly?
Well, one of the things Matthew Castle said, and I'm so sorry if you're listening to this, was that he didn't like the fact they ended with a flag raise thing, and I was just like, that is, I nearly threw my phone out the window. But anyway, no, I think he was hoping it was going to be the next big Mario game, and it's clearly not following that lineage of 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2. It's a different thing altogether, and I think there was expectation that it was going to be the 3D Mario game for the Wii U, but that never actually arrived. But no, okay, so I love that game, that's fine. I'm really interested in this because from the sounds of it and the stuff that I've read and seen, is that this is a proof of concept thing, and we don't get a lot of that from Nintendo, do we?
It is, we don't. But then also I'm not sure about that. Like, as in, okay, let me explain. So first of all, the thing with Bowser's Fury is it is fully 3D. It hasn't got like the perspectives thing of 3D World that Matt was talking about. Like you can rotate the camera like completely fully. But the thing that's really strange about it, at least initially, is that it doesn't control like Mario Odyssey or any of those other games. Like it still uses the same control like mechanisms as 3D World. So in my head, there's this weird mismatch between the gameplay style and the way that you're controlling the character. So, like for example, like Mario can't backflip, he can't triple jump, and he also can't like grab onto ledges either. Like that's the other. So it's really strange because you're kind of you're like in this like 3D environment, and I kept on thinking, okay, I can just grab onto this ledge, but you can't, and it's just
I was so confused that I couldn't backflip. I was like, I'm pressing the right buttons. Why is that not the case? I couldn't believe that. Yeah.
Although you can still do long jump, like that still exists, but some of the other moves don't exist, so it feels a bit strange because of that. But it still completely works, and the open world aspect of it also works. But then I think as a proof of concept, one of the things this shows is that if this is the future of like Mario games, in the sense of having like a large open world that you can sort of travel to different regions and areas and do the platforming and stuff, that's not going to come out on the Switch. Like it's going to have to be on future hardware because the load times on this
struggles a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's the load times are quite long. Like starting up the game, I did wonder if it had crashed. Like at the beginning because it was quite long. Like
Invisible enemy.
Yeah, it was almost certainly that. I mean, it's not like 5 minutes or whatever, but it's quite long. Like you can really notice that. And the other thing about it is that you really notice that the environments sort of lack complexity that you would have seen in other things like Galaxy or in or Mario Odyssey. And I think that's because they probably have to keep that down because of the fact that it's such a large area that you're playing through. I mean, for example, like a lot of it is like across ocean. There's a huge ocean that you can sort of travel across. but there's nothing underwater. There's like no underwater areas or anything like that, which is unusual because normally in Mario games they always like stick all that kind of stuff in.
Jesus, you look at the seaside level in Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so dense underwater. It was crazy.
Yeah. So that's the main thing about this is it's nice to have such a large area to explore and to go around to, but it's quite sparse, like really, and there's not a lot of detail in any of the areas that you're going to. That's why this really does feel like an add-on. It doesn't feel like in any way like a standalone experience. It feels like something which is which is sort of building on sort of a bridge between 3D World and like maybe Mario Odyssey. That's where it is.
Yeah, it really feels like someone's like, oh, it'd be great if we could experiment with this, and this is the perfect opportunity to experiment and see what ideas they could do, see what feedback they can get, see what works, what doesn't work. And I think you're totally right, James. See the limitations of the Switch hardware. I mean, there's some bits where when you're in a boss battle, it really does struggle for frames and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, you can definitely tell they've hit limitations.
Are you playing handheld or
both?
I play both.
TV mode. Because it does this crazy thing. I don't know if you've seen the Digital Foundry thing. No. But it changes the resolution and the frame rate, doesn't it? So in handheld, it drops it to 30.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and in TV mode, it's back up to 60. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is strange because you're so used to playing Mario games in 60 that playing it in handheld at 30 is a bit of a weird thing to experience. But yeah, now watch a Digital Foundry video because obviously they go into painstaking detail over that stuff. So,
yeah, I've really seen nothing about this game and tried to avoid anything about this game. I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, that's exciting, but I didn't know anything else other than that. And I still think like the moment you first step foot into this game, it felt really exciting. It's like, wow, this is open world, and it's only when you play more you kind of you can see the edges, you can see limitations. But I was like, I'm not dropped into just this one level. There's places to go in the distance, and it was like a really exciting moment, I think, for me. Just like, wow, and this feels like a new Mario entirely. And obviously you play more and you understand what it is it's trying to do and what it isn't, more importantly. But that first moment I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's like open world Mario. It's exciting.
But that's the thing, because this may sound like I'm being critical, but it's the actual experience though is glorious. Like, I absolutely love playing this game. I finished it with all the shines. Like, I got everything, like, just over the weekend. It's not very long, it's pretty short. And I think it's also pretty easy if you compare it with, say, Odyssey. Like, there is creativity there, but it's not anywhere near the level of, like, Odyssey in terms of, like, the different sort of challenges and things that you can do in it. But it just feels so nice to play, and it's still, even though there are maybe some frame rate issues here and there, it still looks amazing as well, and it feels like the quality feels so high. Like, it just feels so good, like, to play. And it just feels like an incredibly generous, like, expansion pack. And
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You're saying, it's really short, and, that you can clearly see there's limitations there and stuff. But it's way more than we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be one world of levels, right?
Yeah. And it's so good though, honestly. Like, it's so good. Like, it just feels so good to play. And I was really. This is what's really annoying, is the fact that it's now over, and it's probably going to be a while until we get another Mario game that of like this quality. And this is the other thing about, like, if you think about Mario releases we've had like over the last, I don't know, maybe not even 10 years, they really have sort of nailed this formula now. Like, in terms of, like, they're just so good. Like, all of these games, like 3D World was amazing. Mario Odyssey was so good. Before that, I mean, Galaxy was good, but then Sunshine wasn't so good. It's really, they've really nailed it now. Like, it's just feels so good to play, and I just loved it.
I think basically since from Galaxy onwards, they've all been brilliant, right? I don't think there's been a duffer among them, or even a one that some of the fans sulk about. Since then, apart from Dave doesn't like Galaxy, but
no, I didn't like it. I just it's really good. I really enjoyed Galaxy, but I didn't get swept away with it like I did Odyssey. Odyssey was like the one for me. That was like, this is the movement, everything, like just everything about that game was just fucking fantastic.
See, I mean, the challenges in this, there is repetition, like, within each stage. Like, you're basically doing the same set of challenges for most of the stages. But it doesn't matter because they're still really good to do. Like they're just every single one I really enjoyed and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
So
it's super satisfying.
Am I dropping £43 on this then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Fine.
Even though it's short, it's still absolutely worth playing. It's
Sean, you should drop £43 on it if it was just 3D World, because you and Isaac are gonna be well into that, mate.
No, but again, if it was just me and Isaac playing the original, then I would get the Wii U out. No problem. I'd save the cash. But yeah, if Bowser's Fury's worth it.
I didn't really want to stop playing on the weekend. I've also finished it with all the shines. It's
wow.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's really good. I mean, I had some camera issues on some of the larger boss battles, and also like you get to ride Nessie around, and there's some like chase bits where you're chasing other things, and I was fighting the camera a lot. I don't know. Did you find that Nessie? That's what I said, didn't I? Is that wrong?
It's Plessy.
Oh, Plessy, I do apologise. Did you find that? Did you find like when you're chasing those things to get the shines? Did you find the camera was a bit annoying, or was that just me, James?
No, the only time I had problems with the camera was fighting Bowser. Like when that happens, because again it's like a large arena that you're doing that in, like much bigger than is usually the case, like with 3D games, like Mario 3D games, and it goes all over the place, and it's quite difficult to keep track of what's going on. You get used to it eventually.
You played Mario 64 last year. So I think maybe you're a little bit more forgiving of it, right? Maybe Matt should play Mario 64.
Fighting Bowser, there's one particular move that he does, and I got hit by it almost every time because actually me turning the camera around to face him felt so slow. I was like, okay, I'm just going to jump without even seeing this thing coming towards me because I think it's around now. Because, dragging the camera around just felt like a bit laborious in those boss battles. But I think it's absolutely glorious. And I still think it's like, still had a good 8 hours or so into it. I'm sure people who are way better probably do it a lot quicker than me. I think I saw Dan Reichert do it, the whole thing in like 5 hours, like 100% the whole thing.
Yeah, that's possible, I think.
But
the idea is that Bowser can kick off, every few minutes while you're playing, right? And that changes the environment a bit. Does that become annoying?
It
does. Really, no.
It did a bit for me towards the end. It mostly doesn't for large parts of it, because when he does what he does, that can affect the environment, and if you're trying to collect everything, you need that to happen. But when you're trying to do other things, like when I was trying to, because I think I saw credits on like 50 shines, and there's 100 in total. So I went back and I was just like, okay, I'm trying to collect all the blue coins at this point, or do this or do that. And I'm like, oh bloody hell, Bowser's doing his thing. And sometimes I just kill myself as Mario, because I'm like, I might go like just wait 5 minutes of trying to avoid his attacks and everything being a bit crazy, or should I just kill myself and it's back to nice sunny environment with no Bowser. So towards the end it kind of got annoying, but for most of the game, him doing that is there's a benefit, and there's things you can do while that's happening.
Yeah, it's opportunity time usually when that happens, because he also drops like additional platforms and stuff where you can get to things that you couldn't get to before, and stuff like that. And also there's secrets and stuff that you need Bowser to help you, to sort of unlock and things like that. So it works normally well. But yeah, Matt's right. It's particularly like maybe in the last 1 or 2 areas where there's a lot more lava, there's a lot more, the typical sort of like sort of castle sort of area that you've got to go through. That it becomes a bit more irritating then. But generally, it's fine, because as soon as you collect any shine, he also retreats as well. So often, if you're like in the middle of like trying to collect a load of stuff, then you get rid of him anyway, because you've got the shines.
Yeah, but
nice.
There's loads of neat ideas in this. It looks gorgeous. And as a concept, it's really exciting to see what they can what this means for the future of Mario games. I'm gonna buy Odyssey again. I know I played it and sold it, but way back when. But I want another Mario game, and I think Elodie would really appreciate it.
It's still on your plate. So get that.
Yeah, I'll probably end up having to do that 500 Moon challenge again. But yeah, I want another Mario. I'm not going to stream it. I want to have a Mario game because this was just so good. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to delete my save and redo Bowser's Fury again. I mean, I've got 3D World, first of all, but as a nice little package and something that gets you excited about the future.
Save slot, Matt.
Oh, I could do that, I guess. Is that how it works? I don't know.
Matt, play through 3D World.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to do that. I'm absolutely going to do that. Yeah.
Extra shit.
No, I'm absolutely going to do
it. That's the way to go.
But no, it's brilliant.
So good.
But it is weird though, like the lack of moves, and I don't think they needed. Do you think they did that just because it's part of 3D World? I don't know why they did that.
No,
really.
It doesn't matter because obviously this plays heavily on the suits and stuff and the upgrades that you get. So it doesn't matter. Like the fact that you've got like the cat suit and Tanuki suit, all of that sort of stuff. It kind of negates the need for that.
Oh yeah, when we talked about that,
you don't need to do a backflip if you've got the cat suit, do you?
Yeah, it's been designed around those suits as well. Like, all the areas have been designed around those, so it really doesn't matter. The only reason I said this is a weird sort of complaint at the beginning was this kind of like disconnect in my mind. It was like, this is a 3D game. Why can't I do these moves that I'm used to? But it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the abilities. The fact that you have a bit of an inventory at the bottom, which also felt a bit weird and novel. But yeah, the fact you can you collect these things as you go along and you can easily switch between one of these suits to another one, and yeah, depending on the situation, it's brilliant, really good.
Yeah, because you can stack them up. So you get you can have like sort of 4 or 5 of like different items, like mushrooms or like the the cat bell or 5 flowers or whatever, and then you can call on them at any time. Which, I mean, it's something which makes the game a lot easier, I'd have to say, because whatever you need at any moment, you can just activate
you just got it there, yeah,
and you've got it.
Yeah.
But then I was totally fine with that because it was just a lot of fun to play. It didn't matter that it was I didn't feel like I was cheating or anything like that at all. It still felt just right. It was great.
No, there's still definitely some tough bits.
They've done that before, though, right? They've done that before, isn't that in Super Mario Bros?
Yeah, they've always they're not always done that, but they've often done that where you can hold like another item and then you can select it.
Drop
usually
it,
press and select or whatever. But usually it's only one or two tops.
Yeah.
But with this, it's like you can have like a whole stack of them, like a lot of them. Nice. And which is quite useful.
Yeah, I found that rotating one, that rotating island, pretty tricky, but also really satisfying. Mm-hmm. You know the one I mean, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited to see hear your thoughts, Dave and Sean, when you get to play it.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's not going to be next week's show. Harry's birthday's on Wednesday, so I'm going to have to wait a couple of weeks. But
it feels so
my
good.
Word, my word. I am looking forward to that game.
I mean, going back to the news story you mentioned about, discussing the Switch growth plans and the fact it's just in the middle of its life cycle. I mean, that means what? We're still another. I mean, when did the Switch come out? 27? No.
God, I can't remember.
20. Bloody hell, everyone's shouting us now.
No, it must have been 17 because I remember I hadn't had it. Yeah, sorry. So I'd had it about 7-8 months when Isaac was born. So then I remember thinking, thank God it came out this year.
So if we really are still, potentially 3-4 years away, that's upsetting. But
well, this is the thing I'm most worried about because this is what Nintendo do. They front load everything for like a while and then you don't get anything for ages. It's really it's quite irritating when that happens.
Well, yeah, it is, but I kind of think I still think that we might be in for an Odyssey 2. And if that would fill that 4-year gap a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then for the next console, they'll have something a little bit more wacky, like this, a little bit more ambitious, to show off the new hardware.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can see
I really hope they persist with this though, like with this whole Switch thing.
I think they will.
So I think this whole Switch thing,
because where do they go from Odyssey? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So James, you say you hope they keep going with the whole Switch thing?
Yeah, as in like they continue with like these hybrid consoles. I hope it just
does.
Absolutely. I can't see them changing now.
I've got a feeling they'll be doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that's Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury for now. James, have you got any other games to talk about?
I finished Battletoads, which was. I don't know why.
Why did you play that again? I saw you on Twitter playing Battle. James, right, we need to go into this a little bit because James has this obsession with games that he hates. Like Balan Wonderworld last week, downloading it on another system and playing it again.
I didn't play it in the end. In the end, I deleted it because I can't be bothered with this.
What are you talking about? You talked
Well, of
about
course you
playing
deleted
it.
It's a demo. Wouldn't expect you to still have it on there.
No, but I was going to go back and I was going to play it in a lot more detail. That was my plan. But
Nice.
then
So
I
now
didn't.
Battletoads.
I was playing.
We don't know. We don't need to go into it. You don't like it, but okay. But Asher didn't turn around to you and say, "I want to play Battletoads."
He didn't know, but I was just like, "We got something to play. Let's just play this. It's on. I've already got it downloaded. Let's just give it a go." I mean, I don't.
Don't put this on your son. Don't like your obsession with games that you hate. Don't pass that on. It's a really weird way to spend your time.
It's not very good though, and I mean,
this is what we Farleys do, son.
Yeah.
But you want to play a good game? That is not the way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've been watching Mandalorian. Go on.
The funniest thing about it though was that after I said to Sean, I was about like 2 hours into the game, and then every achievement I got was one of those rare ones. You know, like as if which kind of indicates that nobody else played it either, because it's you know, it was every time it was like one of those, which is kind of weird.
Okay, that's enough on Battletoads though. What else?
I also finished the medium as well this week.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Did it finish? What were your overall thoughts? Speak for roughly 5 minutes. Go.
Okay, go ahead. So yeah, it's so I finished this, but it really narrows its focus towards the end, and I really think it suffered because of that. And the ultimate ending to the story is really. I mean, I talked about this in our WhatsApp group, but it's really quite unsettling, like the way that they decide to conclude the story. And the reason I sort of touch on this is because I read this post on Romuck where they were highlighting some of the problems with the themes that the game engages with and how they're resolved. And I mean, I don't want to say more because it would, if anybody does want to play this, it would totally ruin the whole plot of the game if I talked about that. But I would say that I agree with what the poster. If anyone wants to look, you can just go on the Medium thread on Romuck, and I agree with what the poster said there about how I don't think that the team did this intentionally, but I think that maybe they also didn't consider entirely the story that they're telling here and how this may impact people, which is a shame, because overall I think it was a reasonably interesting game, but because of the narrowing of the focus, it becomes a lot less interesting, which is a bit of a shame, I thought. And I mean, this is another pathetic point, but I just thought it's the least scary, like, psychological horror game that I've ever played. I mean, it just was not in any way, like, shape or form, unsettling in that way. It was just the storytelling was, I think, was a bit unfortunate.
That's a shame.
Shame, because this is by Bluebird team, isn't it?
That's right.
Because they made what's it called? The sort of cyberpunkish one, Observer. Not to be confused with Observations or whatever.
That's right. There was two very similar titles around the same themes, wasn't there? Yeah.
And it was the one where you were this sort of cyber detective who would go around jacking into people's brains to solve crimes. And like on paper, I love the sound of it, but then all the reviews are like, it's not quite what you'd want. And it seems they've done it again, which is a shame.
And I mean, they did Blair Witch as well, which that wasn't great.
Oh yeah,
you played that, didn't you?
I played it on stream, but I only played one evening because I was just like, I don't want to play this. It's boring. It's not very good. And
shame.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, but never mind. The only other thing I played is Hitman 3, which I played on the stream.
Oh boy, what a stream that was! What a stream that was! I've never seen anyone play Hitman like that. I've never seen anyone play Hitman like that.
I wasn't sure.
It was so good, Sean.
Jazz Hitman.
Did you watch it?
I think I sort of tuned in for the last sort of 20 minutes or so.
Oh, I've got look. I know it's annoying when I phone up. You know, when you're streaming and I give you a call and talk to you. The reason why I did that is because all you needed to know, because the thing that was frustrating you and frustrating me watching was that you were going, oh, how comes this person knows who I am? You know, and I just thought, right, all he needs to know is that the dot above the head means that they know, they would be able to spot that you shouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
That's what that means. And then once you knew that, everything just worked. And you were just, it was so fun, because I play these games, Sean, because I completed Hitman 3 last week. I thought that last level, I think, was a bit weak. I don't know if
I've
played
not
it.
done it yet, but I have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it tries to do something different, and I don't think it pulls it off right. But I sit there and I'm like, right, okay, I'm in this room, and there's these people here, so I need to sort of, how am I going to get to this area without alerting people? And I want to get in, get out. I want to make it as smooth as possible, but I also want to learn about the characters, so I'll follow them around or find items and discover intel, and I'll really get into this. James was just like, I'm here to fuck shit up. and he's like he plays in 3-second chunks where he's like, kill, oh, I'm cool, right, okay, load. It's like, load this and do this again. And it was wonderful to watch, to be honest with you, James, because that's why Hitman's so good. You do things the way you want to do, and you'll still be entertained, you know what I mean?
That's the thing, I loved
played
it.
a different game to me that night.
I had a great time. I had a really great time playing it. Particularly towards the end when there was that clip that you put on Twitter. That was brilliant, that bit.
It looks like you didn't even notice it. Basically, it was a clip on Twitter where James dropped a chandelier on a bunch of civilians, punched a guard in the face while another guard was shooting at him, turned around, punched him in the face, ran off. As he was running along, a guard ran out of a door, so he strangled him. Then he ran through a room of people trying to shoot him while a flashbang went off. He found a backstage area with an old costume, changed into that, and walked out as a guard was running into that room. And he didn't spot that it was the same person. Yeah. And just strolled out into the party. It was
great.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was not intentional, at all. I mean, the only intentional part of that was I knew where that costume was, and I didn't know if it would work or not. If that would work, and it did. And I mean, best bit about.
Did anything surprise you about the game? Because it's a game that gets spoken about a lot, and you hadn't played it. Mm-hmm. So was there anything there that you went, "Oh, I didn't think it'd be like this," or "This is different to my expectations"?
I think I was surprised at how freeform it is. In that you can really approach it, it seems, however you like, and it still works.
It's like a massive sandbox.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
I really like that. I mean, this is one of the things, though, that I think in the next stream I do, I will try, because the thing is, when I got towards the ends of the stream, I was starting to pay attention more to what was going on around me, and it did create much more interesting scenarios. Because you can sort of play along with what's happening. You could, explore, some of the sort of the side stories that are sort of going on within this massive world. Not massive world, but within the what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? It feels bigger than it is because it is so dense. There's small sandboxes, but there's so much going on in them.
Yeah,
that's where the sense of scale comes from. A room is full of stuff. So
they're all visually
really
stunning as well. The attention to detail and the environments and stuff is just unreal.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I mean, I really liked at the end of that level that I did where it was, you're trying to kill that guy, but there's 2 guards in the room at the same time.
Yeah, sorry, for Hitman fans, he did buy the first level of Hitman 3, yeah.
And just thinking, okay, how can I deal with this? And I released the chandelier again by accident, and they got confused, and that was that. But then I used that as they were all distracted to run out onto the balcony. And then I used those coins to attract the guy just to come out onto the balcony, and then I just threw him over the side. It was brilliant.
You know what? That was the best bit because you released the chandelier, and that's where the comedy comes in. You released the chandelier, and then the guard that went to check walks back into the room and went, "I do not know how that happened."
Yeah.
At the top of his voice. That's where the comedy. There's tons of comedy in these games, tons of it, but you wouldn't have seen any of it, obviously, because you were running around murdering everyone in sight.
I enjoyed that. You see, I quite enjoyed creating the chaos and then figuring out how to get away with it.
Yeah,
I did like that.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah,
that's part of the fun.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm really looking forward to playing it again on Friday.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go straight on to the next level, or are you gonna try and redo Dubai, but sort of more professionally, or what?
I'll probably go on to the next level, I think.
Yeah, that's good. It'd be cool to sort of just do one run through all of them, and then maybe go back and.
That's what I'm thinking of doing. Because I'm thinking I may want to go back off stream and play some of this stuff. Sort of explore things a bit. But Yeah, it is great. You were right. Everybody was right. It is very good.
I'm glad you like.
Everybody was right.
I was saying in the chat when you were streaming it. So you're playing this on the Series S, weren't you?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I know they've said, so isn't the Series X is getting or has got ray tracing support, but the Series S hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been playing it on PC with everything on full whack. I couldn't see any difference in the footage.
Great.
Yeah, it looks absolutely stunning still. So
yeah, it does look really good.
Yeah,
yeah, it does look good. Right, but I know what you're all thinking. What have you been playing, David? Well, let me tell you. I played a game called. Have you heard of this, Sean? Locomotive.
No.
Okay, right. So this is a very, very short thing. It's a game jam game, and I was highlighted to its existence by Scientologist on Twitter. Friend of the show, Scientologist. He sort of said, I played this and it was quite fun. And I looked at it and it's a 1 hour point and click adventure in those old school, Atari Spectrum. What are they called? Is it what's the where the words are at the top and that? What is that?
With the words are at the top. What, you mean it's not? You mean it? What? You're still pointing and clicking on stuff. It's not text.
Yeah, but they were always. You always refer to one studio as the sort of.
You mean like LucasArts?
The reference.
It's LucasArts.
Yeah, it's a Lucas. That's the word I was looking for. Sure, it's it feels like a LucasArts. It's a point and click adventure that was made by a few people in the space of 2 weeks. It lasts an hour. There's not much to it, but I really loved it. I really, really loved it. Locomotive, it's called. You play as a lawyer for a very rich lady on a train, and she's gathered a bunch of people she knows and some of her family on a train to make a big announcement about her will, and something happens on the train and you have to solve a mystery, and that's it. And it is funny and it is full of nostalgia. It sent me back to those times where I play these point and click adventures and just fall in love with the characters and the writing, and those games were always self-referential in a way, and they were filled with sarcasm that you wouldn't get in games back then at all, and it was the right level of sarcasm as well. It's not what you get. Sarcasm in games now is just shit. Back then it was real bite-in and funny, and God, man, it really sent me back, and I can't recommend it enough. Look for it. It's a pay what you want. It's called Locomotive, as in, well, the motive here, or whatever. It'll take you about an hour to get through, but some of the gags in it are just fantastic. Really, really good. Did you play it, James? Because I recommended it to you.
No, not yet, but I will, because if it's like only an hour or so, then I'll definitely.
Yeah, it's available on Mac and PC, but it's just when you play a game and you just go, man, I feel like I'm back. The nostalgia really kicks in, and it reminds you of why you play. I've not played a point and click adventure game for years. 20 years, maybe 25 years. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the reason why I fell in love with, Telltale games initially, and then onto Don't Nod games, is that it felt like the evolution for point and click. It had similar sort of story focused stuff, although it added the narrative changing depending on moral choices, but it still had that essence of following a story while doing something. I've never got into those visual novel things, and maybe I should. Maybe that is actually something that I would appreciate, but it was great playing a very short experience that's as funny as it is touching that nerve, filling that hole that you actually didn't know was there. What it highlights to me is that, yes, I could easily sit and play a good point and click adventure game again, and also the person that created this, I'm very interested to see what they do next. Because if they manage to make a full game out of this idea, I'd love to see these characters again. then I will be I'll be well happy. So if that sounds interesting to you, then you will love it, in my opinion. So go and Google that, download that. But that's been about it. The problem is, I've been fully focusing on my Rocket League career, and also we've been playing a lot of Mario Party, because Mario Party on the Switch is really good and underrated, and people roll their eyes at Mario Party, but the Switch one is actually genuinely good fun. But yeah,
just before you get leave and go on to another game, I've just been trying to find the game, and you search locomotive and all sorts. Obviously, there's loads of train games, but if you go to robustgames.itch.io,
perfect,
it's all there. Yeah, so cool. That's robust.
Yeah.
Robust games.
We'll just tweet it out. We'll tweet it out. And then you'll have the link, because it's worth. It's not like they're selling it. You can donate a couple of quid or whatever to play it, but we'll put a link out because it's definitely worth playing. Cool. That's me, really. Sean?
Just a couple of quick ones.
Thieves, is it?
Yeah, I'm playing Sea of Thieves. So I've moved on. So I'm doing my animal detective streams every Thursday night. So I've binned Chicken Police because I went back to it in earnest. Obviously last time I talked about it, I was a bit down on it for a number of reasons, and I was like, no, I think I just wasn't in the mood. I'm going to go back. It's going to be fine. The mystery's going to get interesting. I'm excited, and within half an hour, I was like, fuck this. That's
the worst. That's the worst.
It's such a shame
when you get that. Yeah, when you get that feeling of like, oh man, I'll really give this another go. Come on, oh no, I was right.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Yeah, I hate that feeling.
At least I know that it was the right decision. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I went in and go, oh fucking hell, I've got to play Chicken. But I was really excited for it, and it just wasn't happening. It's just so frustrating because obviously I wanted to play it off the back of the release trailer for it, because there's, as I say, there's loads of really good performances in there, and there's enough material there that you can edit together a snappy, interesting, funny trailer. But it's just the actual, when you're actually playing it, the pacing of it, there's just about 5 times too much dialogue. There's just so much of it, and it's just the conversations are just plodding and going nowhere. It's just excruciating. So I sacked it off, and I've started playing the Flower Detectives, which I'm happy to say is a lot better. I'm really enjoying it. It was a bit of a slow start, but I'd got quite into it now, and it's been really nice. Everyone watching the streams is sort of really intrigued by it as well. So it's set in Barcelona in the 70s. And you are an ex-cop who lost the use of his legs through, I think it's like a boating accident or something. And now he just lives in this 4th floor apartment, basically just having to take painkillers constantly because of his injury, and not doing an awful lot. He's just retired, and he as part of being a cop, he had to do a lot of drawing, right? Like crime scenes and stuff. So he now just sort of sits out on his balcony drawing stuff, and then basically the story pretty much starts you witness a murder. Essentially there's this sort of the view from his balcony is this sort of cross section, this little sort of plaza between a bunch of different streets, and someone gets shot, and sort of as that happens, you then end up meeting. There's this other character who was supposed to meet the person who has just been murdered, and she's just sort of looking for somewhere to hide. She happens to knock on your apartment door, and you end up forming a friendship with her. And it's really interesting because when it started out again, as I say, you're playing this sort of very jaded ex police officer. And initially I was like, is this seriously what it's going to be like for the whole game? Because it's quite draining. And he's obviously, the way the voice acting is delivered, he's really leaned into the fact that, as I say, the character's on really strong painkillers most of the time. And it's referenced quite a lot in the dialogue that it makes him feel quite drowsy.
Can I stop
and
you
stuff.
for a second?
Yeah.
All I'm thinking about you describing this game is Disco Elysium. Everything you're saying, the death in the plaza, the painkillers, oh god, mate, that game has been entering my mind.
It's nowhere near as bleak. But yeah, now that you mention it, there are similarities.
Yeah, it's touchstones.
But yeah, and then it's and obviously, yeah, being ex-cop in the 70s, he's got certain political views. Like he's not like a nasty person. He's just quite old-fashioned, right? But then this woman that you meet, who was supposed to meet this person who's murdered, she's like an anarchist newspaper reporter, and their sort of ensuing sort of friendship. And the conversations they have get really interesting because it then, as the story progresses, it looks like the police are sort of involved in covering up the murder, and she's just like, well, of course they fucking are, like, why? and he's sort of having his eyes opened as to how the police now operate, unlike the good old days when he was at the precinct. And there's just really interesting encounters. Like there's been a bit where his ex-partner, like this other detective, comes to visit him, and he's asking you all these questions about the murder, and it was a really interesting bit on the stream where I was like, what the fuck do I tell him? Because he's essentially my old best mate, but also I am pretty convinced there's something shady going on, and what is he on the side of the quote unquote good cops, or is he also corrupt? And is he and it was just really interesting. Because up to that point, I didn't really feel like I'd been given any sort of meaningful choices, and maybe it'll turn out that conversation comes to absolutely nothing. But I had a choice in what I could tell him and what I didn't, and I just told him I didn't know anything, right? And so it'll be interesting to see if that affects anything.
Yeah, if that actually changes anything.
Yeah, but like the bulk of it is you're just out on the balcony. And this journalist is like, she's like on the ground, and you've basically just got a radio communicator, and you're just telling her to like check stuff out. So you've got this sort of overview of this intersection, and she's sort of running around and talking to people and checking things out and stuff. It's a bit unwieldy, but I get it. And again, it works in their sort of friendship. It sort of becomes really interesting, and there's this constant sort of cross chatter about like the way they're both interpreting events that are unfolding in front of them. It's my only complaint, and I've mentioned this a bunch of times on the streams, is there have been so many bits where I've like figured something out, or I've noticed something, but the game isn't ready for me to figure it out or notice it yet. And that's not me, like I'm not like a genius or anything. It's just I'll see something that's obviously out of place, but there's like other events that need to take place before I can then look at the thing I noticed 10 minutes ago, and it'll go, and why is that person stood there or whatever? And that's quite jarring.
That's a bit annoying, because I guess the best aspects of these kinds of games, and I guess you can also look at games like Hitman, is that when you feel like you know the solution, you can give it a go, or you can do it. Exactly, you're not waiting for a moment to have happened before you can do what you want to do.
Exactly, and like something like Hitman has all these, robust systems in place so that it knows how, anyone in a room will react to you doing certain things or whatever. Whereas this is just because it's all just scripted, to the letter, so that like you can't sort of deviate really from what it wants you to know and when it wants you to know it. So that's been a bit frustrating, but yeah, overall it's been properly interesting, and I'm really enjoying the story, and I'm really glad, because this was one I probably wouldn't have bothered checking out if it wasn't for committing to this streaming series. So I'm really glad I did.
Cool.
The only other thing I've been playing, brief one, I've gone back to Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, which I mentioned the other week. I was talking about Everspace 2, and I was saying it reminded me of this, and I was keen to go back to it because I played a bit of it when it first came out. And yeah, it's proper good. It's just been a really nice, just switch off, shoot some pirates. There is a bit of a story.
It looks wonderful, man. It looks well good, because I remember we spoke about this, and I said, well, I played the original Rebel Galaxy, the one where you couldn't fly up and down.
Can't move up and down.
And yeah, I liked it, but I was like, I want to go up and down, man. This one you can go up and down, right?
Yep, you absolutely can go up and down.
Wow.
And it's just great because, as I say, there is a bit of a story, but there's plenty of side missions to follow and stuff. I love the general atmosphere of it. Is great. It's got that sort of Firefly stroke Cowboy Bebop sort of outer space as Wild West sort of aesthetic, but it's done really nicely. And And it's just the fact, like, the first sort of little chain of story missions is, like, you meet this guy who wants you to liberate some cargo from his brother, even though technically they both work for the same company, but he's, like, kind of being frozen out. And he's like, yeah, just turn up and it'll be fine. We'll sweet talk our way through it. And then you absolutely can't. And you get involved in this whole sort of rivalry between these two brothers. And so it's great. It could be just a lot less interesting than it is, right? And it would have got away with it, but there's just enough, like, just interesting little scenarios it puts you in. And like, I think I mentioned this when I first talked about it over a year ago now. But it's this has this system where, yeah, like, you target an enemy as in any other flight sim, and then if you're not pointing at them, you just hold the left trigger and it will turn your ship to face them, which sounds like it would take all the fun out of it, but it's not, because it just takes the boring bit out of it, where you're just having to hold the stick in the direction of the marker on your HUD. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the ship's behind you or whatever, and you just, like, constantly just, like, scrolling, right, hold the stick, right, there it is, now I can actually do the interesting flight bit. It just means you're holding the trigger instead, and it just makes it's just streamlines it really nicely, rather than taking the fun out of it. You can turn that off, obviously, if you want to. There's, like, a simulation mode where it doesn't have that, but it makes the fights, like, way more streamlined and way more snappy. And it means that when things are a bit hectic and you sort of trying to, you might be sort of in a dogfight with one particular ship, but there's like targets you got to protect, or you've got friendlies in the area, or you're trying to, like, you can get on the communicator to people and stuff, or call in help or whatever. You're more able to manage that stuff because you just hold the left trigger and you're always going to be pointing at the ship you're trying to blow up. It's great.
Listening to you talking about this, Sean, I think, because this is out on the Switch as well.
It is, yeah.
I think I might want to play this. Because this sounds
I think you'd really like it, because it's got all the, it's got the stuff that you've enjoyed in the Star Wars ones, like, there's that sort of, power management and stuff like that. You also, like, as you go through it, you're sort of upgrading your ship or buying new ones, buying new kit for it and stuff. Yeah, it's really good. And you can just, like, when you visit ports and stuff, you can go to the bar and play a game of pool or whatever, and it plays a pretty good game of pool. Like, it's good fun, and you do, like, having wages with. Sorry, go on.
This looks just what I want to play. Just looking at the stuff, this looks brilliant.
It's wicked. Honestly, I'm really glad I went back to it. It's proper good. I was nearly, because I played a bit of it, and I was like, because I've got it on PC, and I was like, do I just get the Switch version? Because that would be amazing. So yeah, no, I thoroughly recommend it, honestly.
Please don't email in and say there's no up and down in space, because I don't want to read that shit. Right. Should we get on to questions, Matt?
Yeah. If you want to send us a question, visit tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Mock Turtle Soup says, Sean, we never found out what flavour your ice cream was on the Thursday stream. What was it? This was, I was explaining to everyone that Isaac had been a fucking nightmare getting to bed, and part of the problem was that he'd found ice cream in the freezer. And I said, right, you can have ice cream if you have your dinner first. No, I don't want dinner, I want ice cream. And that was the next hour. Yep. And you're just like, you could have had the fucking ice cream. You could have. I'm not that dad that just isn't going to let you have nice things, Yeah, he was a wanker, so he didn't get any ice cream. Anyway, yeah, it was.
I never follow through with it. That's my problem.
Do you know?
I'm part of the problem. No, although in the mornings when Charlie walks into the kitchen and goes, what do you want for breakfast, mate? Chocolate cake? That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I'm not having that. Chocolate cake.
See, I mean, Isaac's weird, right? Because he's definitely got a really bad sweet tooth, but like, it doesn't have to be like cake or whatever. It'd be like, if you give him like some blueberries in a bowl, it'd be like, oh, wicked. Like,
yeah, he likes strawberries, sort of, Charlie. But then he does this really annoying thing where if you give him something he don't like, he goes he doesn't say something else. He says something else. It's just like that gets through. Like, that makes my teeth crawl.
See, because Isaac did have.
Does that work? Skin crawl.
Skin crawl, yeah.
Yeah.
Teeth crawl works.
Yeah.
See, the other day Isaac had I think it was like Haagen-Dazs, like chocolate ice cream, and it was like, You know, it's like when something's chocolatey, but it's got that bit of like bitterness to it, which means if you really like chocolate, that's what you want. But if you're a child, not so much. And he was like, he kept like eating it and then going like, it's a bit yucky, Daddy. And I was like, yeah, but it's chocolate though, isn't it? And he was like, and then just have another spoonful. It's a bit yucky. It's a bit. It's like it's nice, but it's a bit yucky.
And stop bloody eating it then.
Is glass a liquid?
What?
I had a flashback like today
where
I was at school and they taught me that glass was a liquid.
Technically,
and I thought, was that a dream?
Yeah, I think that is a thing. Like over like decades, it does start to flow downwards. Yeah,
it flows down, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Sorry.
There you go. The ice cream, it was Halo Top, and it was, I think it's like peanut and caramel or something. It's very nice. And it's only like 320 calories for a whole tub, which doesn't mean you should eat a whole tub. But if you did, it wouldn't be that bad.
Get a Ben and Jerry's with all that weird shit in it that just makes it almost lethal. That's if you're going to do ice cream, do it right. Oh, I'll have a sorbet. Fuck you.
Plus, like Ben and Jerry's are just really sound in general.
Yeah, I know, but they are killing the world with their high calorie ice cream.
No, they're killing people, but they're environmentally wise. They're pretty good.
Actually, that's probably what they. Yeah.
Maybe they're doing it on purpose. It's actually like a culling thing. They're just
Ben, was this Jerry's idea or was it yours? It was mine.
Chris Bush says, question, gaming habits and quick resume. As much as I'm loving the Series X, I've noticed a downside to the super fast loading and quick resume, which is highlighted quite how long some of the load times are on the Switch. While I love my Switch, I'm definitely playing it much less these days when it's so much quicker to just jump back into one of a number of games I'm currently playing on the Series X. I've even double dipped on some games, e.g. XCOM 2, so I can play them on the Xbox instead of the Switch. Quite a reversal. This week is probably a bad time for this email, given the release of Mario 3D World, so worth being clear that I'm not dismissing the high quality of Nintendo's releases. I'd just like to be able to jump straight into them as quickly as I can on the Xbox. Having kids also means that we're constantly changing between games on the Switch, so a quick resume feature would be game-changing. Literally. This made me wonder, are you finding that any of your gaming habits have changed as a result of the faster loading and quick resume? And what do you think the chances are that Nintendo will deliver something similar in the long run with Switch Pro?
Not to that extent.
Sorry?
Not to that extent. Not to the point where I'm like, I would rather play this game on the Series X because it loads quicker. Because I think 9 times out of 10, especially with the Switch, even though Harry plays the Switch a lot, getting into games I find really quick on that system. So yeah, I not to that level, but I have certainly found some gaming habits change. I mean, I mentioned on Forza Horizon where I'm like switching cars left, right, and centre because it doesn't take any time. But also, yeah, I mean, Hitman 3 is the perfect game to showcase quick resume because it's got to be connected online. But every time I've played that game, it's gone straight to quick resume, straight to where I was before, connected to the online stuff. No problem. Like it's mental how well that works. It's fantastic. No loading up the logos and stuff. You just literally, I'll play 3 or 4 games, then go back to Hitman, and it goes straight to quick resume. It's crazy. And if all games work like that, then that really is like, yeah, that is going to be one of those situations where you're not going to question whether you should boot a game up or not. It's like, well, I fancy a little bit of that. There's no barrier. You're just going straight into it. So yeah, in that regard, yeah, but no, I've not sat there and played a game on a Switch and said, I wish I could play this on my Series X.
I think it's definitely taken the sting out of like, stuff would come up on Game Pass and you'd think, this is cool. But like a lot of indie stuff, there'd be that thing of like, but I would be better on the Switch though, wouldn't it? Being able to play it. Like that's sort of gone now. Like stuff that appears on Game Pass, I am more than happy to just play it on the S.
But for me, that's more playing in 4K than it is.
Yeah,
playing. I mean, Hades was a perfect example. I can't wait for that to come to Series X. Playing that in 4K, yes, please.
Yeah.
See, for me, the barrier is the TV. Like the reason I prefer the Switch is because it's other people are using the TV most of the time. So it's
for sure.
See, I'm quite lucky in that regard because Nu works a lot of early shifts, so she's usually in bed, like fairly early most evenings. So I've always got that bit of tally time. So yeah, not so much a problem for me. But I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, I was just saying about Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Like, I would like to have that on the Switch, but that's because that's on PC, which is different. And yeah, stuff loads up quick. We still got to turn the fucking thing on and then go, fucking hell, it's on the Epic Store, innit? I got to load that up. Like, it's just that bit of friction. That bit of friction goes a long way sometimes. But
well, what it has made me realise is that it's kind of annoying when games don't have quick resume. Because it's great when ones do, and it still feels like a bit of a surprise. It's not every game every time, and so I'm like, awesome! It's doing it. But for ones that don't, I'm like, it feels more laborious, even though that's just a standard load.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of Nintendo delivering something like this in the Switch Pro, I don't know, because obviously storage is the thing that they skimped on with the Switch, wasn't it? It was literally just like you are gonna have to put your own SD card in that, mate. Like, so I don't know.
You're going to have to put an SD card in a PS5 as well, aren't you? Fucking hell.
True.
Oh no, the Sony boys went quiet then. Right.
I'm very happy with my 4 gigabytes.
That it?
Yeah.
Cool. Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS Corporals, your discussion of Games Master's long gone celebrities."
Really? Have you not done that? She's not done that one before.
No, I think that's new.
Wow. It's taken that long to get.
I don't know. I think I should start a spreadsheet. That sounds like that's probably put it done before.
Made me think about the actors currently dominating the gaming world. It seems like AAA studios only have the contact details of 3 of them, as the voices of Troy Baker, Nolan North, and John DiMaggio have flooded my ears over the last decade. Yeah. Let's give more voice actors a chance. So, which UK talent do you wish would have appeared in a game you've recently played? I would have said Brian Blessed, but I heard him a week ago in Black Ops 4, so I'm going to go with Alan Bennett's sing-song voice narrating my single Tranmere Rovers goal yesterday in FIFA 21.
Easy. James Farley.
What? God, yeah.
James Farley in a video game. Yes,
I would
please.
love that. I would love that.
Would you?
It'd be funny. Yeah, I think
we've talked about this before,
funny,
haven't we?
Funny or good?
Yeah. James wants to be a voice actor.
I think
you
I
want
could
to
do
be a voice actor?
I think I could do it.
I think you could.
Oh, we can do this. This could be our campaign for the year. We could do this. Let's
not
get James in
not
a
like
game.
a charity thing or raising awareness of a worthy cause.
There's so many people doing things for charity. Fuck that. Let's be different.
Everyone's doing stuff for charity. Everyone's all right now. It's fine. All the problems have been solved.
They're covered.
Yeah, fixed.
No, can we make this our campaign for this year? Like, I'm serious.
Get James as a character in a video game. Yeah, okay. What's
James in a video game?
What bar are we setting though? It can't just be like a random NPC. It's got to be.
It needs to be a game that is released on one of the 3 consoles. That's
be a game
the
on
stipulation.
Each,
I don't mind being an NPC. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no,
it'd be an NPC, but it's got to be like a recurring character. It can't just be someone you
he's
meet.
never going to get the lead role, is he? Getting him into a game is hard enough.
Because fucking Nolan North is all of them. He could be. All we've got to do is play a game on the Series X, the Switch, or the PlayStation 5, and not Series S. You know what I mean? On one of the consoles, we play a game and we can hear James's voice in it. I think that's the bar.
And he's in the credits.
All right.
Right. So, I mean, it kills me because this has been my dream. But
well, let's do both of you. Let's get all of us.
No.
Apart from me,
no. I'm more than happy to stand aside to hear James in a video game. Right? If anyone out there can make this happen, please get in touch. You can, either go to what's the tcgs.co/.
Go on.
Dear TCGS. There you go.
Right.
Dear TCGS. Yeah.
You can contact us on Twitter, at TCGS.co, or you can DM me at David Turners or at Matt Murray. Not Sean. He doesn't read his DMs. He's, but contact us rather than James, because you're, yeah.
I've got range. I reckon I've got range.
Yeah, contact us because he's a talent. We're the agents, and then
well, let's do a showcase, right?
What's our fee?
Not now.
Okay.
I need to work
there's no
myself
fee.
up to it.
There's no fee. He will do it for free. He will do it for free.
I mean, what's our fee as his agent? But all right.
10% of free.
Of nothing.
Okay. James. So, right. Hi, James. Welcome to the recording studio here at EA. We want you to be a merchant, and the characters are going to come to upgrade their armor. The line is, "Welcome, traveller. What can I do for you today?" Go on. Action.
Welcome, traveller. What can I do for you today?
What's the accent? What's the accent? Why would you do an accent?
I don't know. I need more motivation. What's
no, James. Now
okay,
can
you're
do...
motivated to sell.
Yeah, James. Can you now do an American accent?
No, God, just do your normal voice, but you're in that role, right? So you're in a desert. Why would you be selling stuff in the middle of a desert? But it happens in video games.
Very low footfall.
Yeah.
People do live in deserts.
Yeah, I know, but
I imagine they have shops.
All right,
of some sort.
All right, I've always got to think about every scenario these days. Fucking PC gone mad. Right, okay. So you've got a stall, and a lead character walks up, and they want to buy some water or say you got all sorts for sale, all sorts of items. Right? They walk up to your stall. They press A. Action.
What's the line again?
Welcome.
You're fired.
This ain't going well, James. You want to get into a game? You got to come on. Welcome, traveller. What can I? What should the line
You can't
be?
remember either.
Welcome, traveller. What
can I do?
What
for you
can
today?
I do for you?
Yeah.
What can I do for you today? That's fine. Welcome, traveller. What can I do for you today? Right. So you're playing a game. You're sitting down. You're looking at the amazing desert that someone's done, and then you walk along. You find the stall. James Farley's behind the stall. You press A and action.
Right. Welcome, traveller. What can I do for you today?
Was the all right part of it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay, all right, fine. Come on, someone get James Farley into a game, and if you know anyone that works in video games, anyone that can make this happen, let's do this. Let's do this.
We should also point out, right? If we know where some of you work.
Is this a threat?
No. I'm just saying, if this is if you're listening to this and thinking no, because it'll have to be subject to NDA and stuff, fine. We'll jump through any hoops required.
Yeah, we will sign shit.
Right.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
We
Sworn
will
to secrecy.
review your game when it comes out and give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We don't give numbers, but we will for that one. Just come on. Someone's got to make this happen. Someone's got to make it happen.
Yeah. The
people that work on I'm not even going to say it. I'll save that. Right, okay, I'll keep that in the back pocket. Right. Is that it? Is that it for questions?
That is it for questions. I've got a sort of actual answer to to Maria's question though.
Go on.
I've started using this app called Luna.
It's from Amazon. Yep.
You also?
Yeah, the Amazon streaming service. Yep.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's one of these sort of bedtime stroke relaxation apps. It's been really good with Isaac.
I love a bedtime stroke.
Yeah, I was going to say, that usually gets me off to sleep really well.
But yeah, it's got these like voiceovers, and it's really obvious that they just went to someone like, "Oh, can you do Patrick Stewart?" And you went, "Yeah, I'll do Patrick Stewart. I can do Patrick Stewart, no worries." And he just sounds like a shit Patrick Stewart. So if I could just replace him with actual Patrick Stewart, that would be absolutely fantastic.
That would be handy, wouldn't it?
It would. That'd be really useful. The devs would be chuffed as well.
James?
I've got nothing.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I thought we were on the home stretch here, and then you just bring that up again. Go on.
Imagine that. James.
It's still only 2.5 hours, James. Mate. That's all right.
Fucking hell. Matt?
Well, at first I was like, Will Arnett. But Maria said UK. So
yeah.
I go
Roy Hodgson. Would it be Roy Hodgson?
Definitely Roy Hodgson. Yeah, as the lead in the new Black Ops game.
Welcome, traveller.
Can we not make fun of my 94-year-old manager?
Yeah, how come he just always looks so sad, the fella?
He's managing Palace. What can he... I don't blame him.
He deserves everything he gets. All right, is that
You're
it then
safe,
for this
Matt.
week?
You're not safe.
Yeah, he's not. Oh, mate, I was looking at when a Fulham one yesterday. I was like, sorry, Sean. Should we do the socials, Matt? Come on.
Let's. So Thursday, this Thursday, in fact. Wednesday.
Tonight.
So if listeners of Wednesday, we're going to talks over for the
Wednesday.
What did I say? Wednesday? I did say Wednesday.
You said Tuesday.
Well, this Wednesday, the day this pod comes out, we're doing a talks over for the Nintendo Direct. We'll be live on twitch.tv/TCGSco from about 10 to 10 for all 50 minutes of that showcase. That's Wednesday. On Thursday, Sean is streaming All Creatures Are Great and Sean. Are you continuing that game, Sean, or are you doing another game?
Yeah, Flower Detectives. It's not... I think I'm not too far from the end. It's only like sort of 3 hours long, but... Yeah, see how we go.
So more Flower Detectives with Sean. That's Thursday at 9. On Friday at 9, James is streaming Hitman 3, and he's on Twitch, not on YouTube, because he's streaming from
Saturday,
Xbox. On Saturday, Dave, maybe a little bit of fishing?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking Perfect Dark Zero is going to be my next one.
Ooh,
that would be good.
Well, there's a new Perfect Dark game coming out, isn't there?
There is.
Do it, yep. Perfect. This is a perfect run-up.
I think I only did the first level of that. So I'll be fascinated to see how bad it
Perfect
truly
Dark
is.
Zero?
Yeah.
Did you never play the whole thing?
No. I played the multiplayer more than anything else. And then that did not encourage me to play the single player at all.
That was awful.
Yeah.
So is that going to be this Saturday, or...?
I don't know, Matt.
Okay.
Get off my fucking back.
There'll be a stream at some point. If you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, and with that you get one free subscription to our channel every single month. Please go over to our channel, give us your free monthly sub. We really appreciate it. We're on patreon.com/TCGS this Saturday. Oh yeah, no, actually you can't do anything because this Saturday, Dave, we're doing doing in the cuisining. Cool. So no Saturday stream for David. But if you're a £8.50 and above Patreon subscriber, then you can watch us do in the cuisining from probably about 9ish. But there'll be details going out to Patreon subscribers or supporters this week. And it's tcgs.co for everything else. There's a store there if you want to get some TCGS merch and links to our social channels, all the usual. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? Things are shit at the moment, but we're all thinking here. We all hope you're doing well, legitimately.
Yeah, we'll hang in there. I think kids might be going back to school on the 8th of March. That's
God, what a beautiful.
Oh my God!
Moment
Please, God, please.
Thanks for living it. We will catch you next week for some more video game chit chat. Goodbye, everybody. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
James?
I've got nothing.